come in and just things start to ramp up.
There was news from both workouts yesterday. The Patriots are missing only linebacker Robert Spillane, even though he told the media earlier in the day he was optimistic about playing. Drake May was also listed as a full participant. Seattle had everyone on the field, but starting safety Nick Emanwari, a finalist for Rookie of the Year defensively, hurt his ankle during practice and wasn't able to finish. The two teams will be out there again today. Bruins ended their Olympic break with a 5-4 loss to Florida in a shootout. Brad Marchand scored the game winner after the Bruins had battled back from down 4-2 in the third period. Mikey Asamont scored a pair of goals in the loss. David Pastrnak was announced as one of the two Czechia flag bearers for the opening ceremonies of the Winter Olympics tomorrow night in Italy. Celtics are without Jaylen Brown, Sam Hauser, and they traded Anthony Simons. They still went into Houston and swept their back-to-back. They blew out the Rockets 114-93. Derek White, 28 points. Celtics back home to play Miami tomorrow night. The NBA trade deadline is at 3 o'clock Eastern time this afternoon. Two more big deals yesterday. Late last night, Atlanta sent Kristaps Porzingis to Golden State. Earlier yesterday, Dallas shipped Anthony Davis and D'Angelo Russell to the Washington Wizards. And with pitchers and catchers set to report on Monday, Red Sox assigned free agent infielder Isaiah Kiner-Falefa to a one-year contract. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by IBEW 103 and Nika Electrical Contractors. IBEW 103 celebrating 125 years of power in Greater Boston. To find a qualified contractor for your next electrical, telecom, or security project today, visit thepowerprofessionals.org. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 6:30.
Every pass, tackle, and of Super Bowl 60 will be heard here.
You can watch us on YouTube. Subscribe to 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube. And you can watch us. You can download the podcast anywhere you download podcasts. They have now Channel 5 has got a woman at the Super Bowl.
Oh, look at her. She's holding a football.
But I'm just glad that there's something for her to do.
Well, she just ran through a maze of phalluses.
Did that really just happen?
Yeah, that was.
Oh my God,
that was sexual, is what that was.
How dare you?
It's this fan experience where they've got all these different obstacles set up, and there's one of them that just looked like a bunch of marital aids set up in a maze that you had to run through.
She ran right through him. Took a lot of contact there.
All right. Well, they are out there. It's funny. We'll have a lot of stuff with the Patriots today. Phil Perry, Mike Dussault, Gary Myers, all will be on. We have a very special Super Bowl game that will be happening at 8 o'clock that will be award-winning. You have my word. But the Bruins played last night. We'll get to that and what happened last night. But they take this 3-week break now to go with the Olympics, and the Boston Globe has got a medal prediction with all the events. And again, the Winter Olympics is tough because this is all the events. And I can't think of anything that I would want to watch besides hockey. Alpine skiing.
Yep.
Biathlon.
Oh, that's where you cross-country ski and then you shoot your gun.
And if you miss, you got a penalty lap. Penalty lap. You gotta
Bobsled, obviously. Bobsled is interesting for a moment. And then then it just seems you can't
It
tell
seems
what
similar, doesn't it?
it does.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like
only
every
if there's
run.
a grave error, like a big wiggle, do you see that something bad happened. I still don't quite know how it works. I guess you have to anticipate the curve and then steer. I would assume
It's all about the line, Fred. The line through the curve.
that you have to anticipate the curve and then you would steer. You'd have to like memorize the course. Cross country skiing, which I've never seen in my entire life. Curling, as we have discussed. The figure skating is very difficult to watch. Freestyle skiing, I've never seen.
Freestyle
Hockey,
skiing, is that the aerials and
Yeah.
that kind of
yes.
stuff? Okay.
But I know what it is, but I've never seen it.
I won't seek it out, but if that's on, I'll look at it.
Again, but this is like watching. I mean, I'll have Married with Children on in the background. It's that I'm talking about like watching it, concerning yourself with it, like being interested in the outcome, not just look. I mean, we very well in Milan. I don't know the time change, but I mean, we could very well. If there's live sports on, we'll have it on in the studio. Doesn't mean that I'm like why. I mean, it's on in my peripheral vision. It doesn't mean that I'm watching it. Like that, ice hockey, like a gold medal game or something. You'd watch the thing. That would be your entertainment, right? It wouldn't just be something on because the TV needs to be on.
Correct.
Long track speed skating goes without saying. The luge is something again that is like bobsledding. You will go and then you watch it twice and you go okay. I mean,
I got this.
right, unless someone falls. But even if someone falls, I suppose I'd rather fall in the luge than I would in freestyle skiing, because or in ski jumping or something, because at least I'm only a few inches off the ice. Plus, I got a sleek suit on. The Nordic combined, which I don't know what that. Oh, skiing and jumping. So I don't even know what that is. Short track speed skating is boring. Skeleton, I'm not sure what that is.
That's the luge face first.
Okay. Ski jumping, I've only seen at the beginning of the what do you
ABC
call it?
Wide World of
Wild
Sports.
World of Sports.
Thrill of victory and the agony of defeat.
That's right.
There's a new Olympic discipline called ski mountaineering.
What is that? I wonder.
Vertical prowess in this new Olympic discipline. So I imagine you ski and then you climb. And then snowboarding, which I've never snowboarded. I suppose if I had, I would.
Climbing
enjoy
mountains
them.
either on skis or carrying them, depending on the steepness of the ascent, and then descending on skis.
Okay.
So it's the excitement of cross-country skiing with the seeing people take and put on their skis. So I would have to imagine.
Well, according to the Olympic website, it's adrenaline-filled, so don't be so quick to poo-poo it.
I would imagine that all comes down to getting your skis on and off. Correct? Like if everyone's is elite at it and you're going down by tenths of a second, that's got to be all about getting your skis on and off.
Fred, I'm just now learning about it, so please don't quiz me on it. I don't know.
But I mean, I'm just using logic. Like if you're in the Ironman, so much of it can come down to the performance of the bike, your ability to get out of the water. I mean, you're dealing with precious seconds. So if it comes down to you have to take your skis off and climb, you have an option of not taking them off. It's all about knowledge of the course. And that's it. According to this, that's everything. That's everything that happens in the Winter Olympics. Not a lot.
No.
For 3 weeks?
Some of these things do seem antiquated, like the whole notion of the bobsled, because back in the day, if you had 4 guys and you needed to get down the mountain, well, you would hop in a bobsled, I would guess, and that's how you would go. Not really a thing anymore. The biathlon, like everybody can relate to this. you have to go out in the wintertime and get food for your family. So you get on cross-country skis and you carry a rifle with you, and then you shoot something, and then you make it back. I don't know that there's a lot of modern-day application for these things.
There's a woman, I think there was a woman, I don't know if she's local or not. What?
I'm watching an animation of what mountaineering is all about. It's as adrenaline-filled as I thought. It's somebody slowly plodding up the mountain on like cross-country skis.
Oh, good.
With the downhill skis like strapped to their back.
Oh, they switch. It's a different kind of ski. Ah.
Apparently. Now, this is just according to the animation. So, and then once you get up there, then you go back down.
So you take off the skis and put new ones on.
Yeah, they
It doesn't
the traction stops us. It feels like sticky carpet. So they have skins on the bottom of their skis. Once we carry our skins and backpacks, climb up on foot. The faster we switch gear, the quicker we can move through the race. So, and then once we reach the top, we rip the skins off for the descent and ski downhill through the course.
What practical application was that back in the day?
Well, this is new.
Before chairlifts. This is how you would, enjoy downhill skiing.
But this is also new. I guess this is the first year of the event. So it doesn't, I don't know what it harkens back to. It harkens back to something recently. There's a woman that I just saw that had solo cross-country skied, like, to the South Pole. Like, she got dropped off, whatever, how many hundreds of miles before the South Pole, and she pulled the sled, and it took her like 30 days, and she got to the South Pole. I can't think of anything I'd less like to do as a physical activity than cross-country skiing.
It's boring as hell.
And it's also cold.
Yeah.
I got to give these people a lot of credit. It's cold. It doesn't seem like there's any fun. I've never put on cross country skis in my entire life.
Oh, I've done it. It's an absolute unbelievable workout.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And you're old enough to remember what the cross country skiing. Everyone decided this is what we all need to be doing. And Nordic track still is a thing. Like, this is the best overall body exercise. But
I'm aware of the Nordic track.
Yeah.
I'm not positive they still make it, but I am aware of the Nordic track, but I've never put on cross country skis. I was unaware of the cross country craze.
It was a big thing, and I recommend you try it. If you want to have a heart attack, this is the best way to go about doing it, because you'll be pumping at 180 beats per minute in no time.
Yeah, my whoop, that's zone 4 for me. I mean, to get up to zone 5.
Whoop, whoop.
I mean, it would take so much. I mean, let's be honest. For you might get up to 180. For me, resting heart rate like 59. I mean, come on.
You're like a sloth.
Oh yeah, I'm like Michael Phelps. My heart is such a tuned muscle. Don't worry about it.
I'm not worried.
Don't you worry about it. Don't worry your pretty little head about it. So yeah, I've never cross country skied in my life. I've never really done stuff outside in the winter. I've only skied a couple times. I've never snowboarded. I've never felt the need. I broke a guy's leg the second time I ever skied. I went to do you remember Alpine Valley in Michigan?
Yeah. There was Pine Knob. There was Alpine Valley.
And Mount Brighton, which was a trash heap. It was literally a trash heap. They had taken trash and then covered it with dirt and then made the skiing mountain out of it. So I went to Alpine.
Mount Holly.
It might have been Mount Holly or Alpine, one of the two. But I went with my friend. My mom took us, and then she was going to drop us off, which is stupid because the thing was like an hour and 15 minutes away. But she was going to drop us off. So my friend goes, I rent the skis, and my friend goes, okay. I'm like, I should go to the Bunny Hill. And he's like, no. I mean, this isn't like Vail or something, right? Like, it's like a local mountain. So
it's an ice-covered trash heap.
Right.
That's all you need to do.
I mean, it's not like, this is like it seemed somewhat reasonable. I could see like the top of the mountain, and my friend said, "Let's go up in the chairlift." So only time I've ever been on chairlift in my life, and I go up there, and I start going down the mountain, and there's this. I'll never forget. He's this Asian man. I'm probably like 15. There's this like 14, 15. There's this Asian man slowly going back and forth across the mountain. And I realize I can't stop and I can't turn. Like, I don't know I know I can stand on the skis and go down the hill, but I don't know how to stop or turn. And in Austin Powers, when the two security guards, Austin Powers is driving the roller
slowly, yes,
yeah, like the slow thing that they used to to finish up the freeway, that thing with the big roller on front,
yeah.
And they stand there going no for like 5 minutes until the thing runs them over. This guy, this is exactly how I remember it. I can remember his face. He stops right in the middle of the mountain and looks at me and goes, no. Huh. And I'm going, get out of the way, get out of the way. And I realize he ain't moving. He's frozen. So I go, the only way I'm going to stop is by making myself fall. So I fall backwards and just take him out. Completely take him out. And he's going, oh, and there's blood pouring out of me. And the people from
you said he was Asian. What exactly did he sound like, Fred?
I don't remember that.
No, it's fine. You won't get into any trouble.
Oh. He was of Asian descent, but I believe he was raised in the UK.
Oh, okay.
He was, oh, no, bloke, no. Okay. See? And so, and there's blood coming out of me. And, it's not a big mountain, so these people are coming up, and he's like, I broke my leg. He goes, I broke my leg. I broke my leg.
Very specific character sketch.
I was thinking that, too. Wow.
You know how sometimes, Indian guys, they got English accents?
Oh, sure.
Yeah. I broke my leg. And so I leave the skis, and I just...
It was a black guy, but it was like Idris Elba.
Right.
I broke my leg.
Exactly. He's like Dizzy Rascal. So I run down the mountain, and when I get down to the mountain, my mom's there, and of course I'm badly wounded, so she's mad at me.
Right. It's your fault.
Right? And I go, I broke a guy's leg, and she goes, let's get out of here.
Nice. That's a good mom.
Let's make for the car. Get out of here.
So I took off my ski boots and put on my boots. Again, this isn't a big place, and I put on my boots, and we left.
Yeah.
You were still bleeding at the time. You didn't bother to get first aid or care.
I ended up at the hospital.
Okay.
But not until we got home.
Oh, boy.
we dropped John Heller off, and then I went home. I don't remember. I know I went to the hospital and got stitches, but I know I didn't go from there to the hospital.
What did you get stitched up? Like when you fell, you said you fell backwards, so it was like the back.
No. I fell backwards, but then I rammed into the guy.
Sure.
Something cut me, his ski, my ski, a pole, something cut my face. So I was bleeding out of my face. Oh. And
so your mom, seeing you bleeding out of your face and the wound is big enough to require stitches, said, let's get in the car and drive for how long?
She said, well, this is inconvenient.
Like an hour.
An hour.
I was probably an hour and a half, 2 hours before I got stitched up.
After scolding you. Got you in the car.
You know when I got hit with the gun and I came home and there was blood pouring down my face, my mom goes, what'd you do? What'd you do?
Well, she was right. You were lipping off to somebody.
In that case, I didn't do anything. I stood there. That was the most unnecessary violence I've ever encountered in my entire life. But no, I didn't. I honestly did not do anything. I friend barely said anything and got followed and got made to get pulled over by 3 cars. My Chaldean buddy said, there were other Chaldeans. I thought we'd be okay. And he said, roll down the passenger window. I rolled down the passenger window and thump.
Different set.
Yeah, I guess so.
Now, the skiing, and around here it's much better. in Michigan, it was terrible. And when I moved to New Mexico, nobody was skiing. Everybody was snowboarding. So I learned how to snowboard because in Albuquerque, and that's the southern tip of the Rockies. So there's an 11,000-foot peak right on the border of the city there, Sandia Peak, 12. You know that.
Absolutely.
And it was great. Yeah. And the learning curve for snowboarding is I can't do it. All of a sudden you can do it.
Yeah.
You can just do it. It was great. And for a time, spent a lot of time snowboarding there up in Santa Fe. When we moved to Vegas, we would go to Utah, go snowboarding. And I mean, I was doing it pretty regularly and enjoyed it. And since we moved to Boston, now well over 20 years ago, I think I've been twice.
When's the most recent time you went? I'm just curious as if you think you could still do it now.
If
you and I went out on a weekend, could you do it?
2 years ago,
okay.
the kids were taking ski lessons just over at Blue Hill. I'm like, I'll pull my snowboard out, and I'd got new boots because I thought I was going to start again. So I had the board waxed and sharpened and everything, and I got boots, and I went up there, and I can still do it. But I think it's one of the most overrated activities ever. It's very cold for the most part. You spend a lot of time waiting to get on the lift or riding the lift. And, once you're going down, it's like, I do this. I'm not good enough to like really have fun and push my limits. So it just feels like it's a lot of time. It's a lot of time to get there. It's a lot of time to get ready. It's a lot of time to do the actual thing. And then when you're going down the mountain, that's the least amount of time. The least amount of time is actually riding down. Everything else takes way more time to either get there, to get up to the top, than to do this thing, which is brief.
Well, that's why skateboarding, you could just, even in the winter, you could just go in somewhere indoors and you just skateboard. Like, you didn't have to go to a mountain and take a chairlift and get equipment.
I mean,
my parents didn't ski. When my kids were little, I always offered to go. My son ended up being able to do it. He doesn't do it anymore though. But I used to want to go, but my ex-wife never wanted to go, and my daughter never would want to ski. So they never wanted to do it. I understand why people do. I understand how it can keep you sane in these long winters.
Yeah, and that aspect of it, and like some people just like the whole family vibe of going and getting the place, which by the way, unbelievably expensive. I mean, the last time I was doing it regularly, we got
keep it secret.
We got the ski passes from the radio station because they weren't paying us anything. It's like, here's a season pass for Sandia Peak and Santa Fe, and it's free. All we got to do is drive there. And it's a 13,000-foot peak. And when you get to the bottom, it's 60 degrees and you're hanging out. It's like, this is awesome. Who wouldn't enjoy this? Now, if you go up to Vermont or New Hampshire, and these places are beautiful, but what does a lift ticket cost now? Like an adult lift ticket, $150?
At a big resort, it's ridiculous.
Is it $150?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If Killington's probably $200.
Right.
Yeah.
So you get...
there's the drive to get there.
Well, that's why my son won't go. That's why my son stopped. It's because him and his friend went to his friend's place. Like, they had this small place in Vermont, and it was snowing, and he said it took 4 hours to go the last 100 miles, and he was like, I'm never doing this again. I'm never gonna sit in this. This is ridiculous.
Regardless of how much you like skiing, say you pay for a place in Vermont. Just say hypothetically, you pay for a place in Vermont, and you wind up having to drive there to justify it. 3 weekends a month, 2 weekends a month, and you're in the car 3 or 4 hours both ways. And then there's the lift. Then there are the lift tickets. Then there's whatever.
Plus,
ski
it
rental
means
if you bring somebody. It just adds up.
And if you're a kid, it's the only thing you're doing in the winter. Like, you can't play a sport really and then go out to Vermont every weekend. I mean, you can't. I mean, that's what your life is at that point. It's
pressure.
It's a life of leisure.
Yeah.
You understand? You got to not put it into the grind like so many of us do. All right, so we'll be back. The Bruins played a very physical game last night. The Patriots practiced. We have that injury report. Looks good. We will have all of that for you in just a moment.
Toucher and Hardy, 98.5 The Sport.
And last night, the Florida Panthers. Now, John, you follow the pregame closely on all these matchups, all these tilts.
Of course.
Right?
Right.
And we were correct me if I'm wrong. We were told Brad Marchand out.
Yes.
Not going to play tonight.
The head coach, Paul Maurice, said during morning skate, Brad Marchand will not play tonight.
Right. So why did I see 63 on the ice last night for the Florida Panthers?
Apparently, he just materialized during the skate before the game and inserted himself into the lineup.
Huh.
Kind of odd. I've never heard that or seen that before.
Yeah, you can do that.
Apparently.
All right. So they're taking on the Panthers last night, and this was not great for Bruins fans as Charlie McAvoy suffered a mishap.
McAvoy got knocked off balance and knocked down at center ice coming through, and now he is shaken up. McAvoy on all fours right now in between the red line and the Florida blue.
So just to give you an idea, as we comb through highlights, if you were watching the game last night, this goes on for nearly 3 minutes, just kind of like sorting out what happened. And McAvoy, as he was felled to the ice last night. We didn't get anything immediately after the game, during the game, and this morning I've seen nothing.
Well, he came back.
He came back.
He came back and finished.
But in terms of like how severe it was at the time, and like,
well, he got hit in the head. He was down on the ice for a minute. He left, and then he came back in the second period. So he didn't have a concussion.
But it's typical Florida nonsense. The guy who hit him, I guess it's Sandis Vilmanis, left his feet.
Yeah.
This is specifically the kind of hit that the NHL is trying to get rid of.
And the Bruins
he
were
wasn't called for a major.
And the Bruins were shorthanded after because there was a response to it. And then Sturm got a bench minor for going after the official.
not to jump ahead to, did McAvoy take a shootout attempt last night?
Yes, he did.
I thought I saw him.
Yes, he did. He was third, I believe.
I was
Yes.
drifting off to sleep. I'm like, McAvoy out there in the shootout?
No Pasternak, but McAvoy. Pasternak, they had 4 rounds of the shootout. Pasternak did not take one, and McAvoy did.
That's why the shootout is so dumb.
I don't like the shootout either. And you know, whenever you get beat in the shootout, and I see Marchand, again, I'm like jumping way ahead. They saved Marchand until it could have been over at the point when Marchand goes out there. I'm like, you know what? That's really smart because a lot of these shootouts go more than 3 rounds. So if you want to have like a real ace in the hole, maybe that's when you bring Marchand out. But we never saw Pasternak last night in the shootout.
Maybe he was saving him for the 6th or 7th round in case he got there.
At least you got McAvoy out there because, you know, he's more than likely gonna bury one.
Well, it's not a specific. It's like a specific skill. It's not have anything to do with hockey. That's why I don't like the shootout. If the best players were the best at the shootout, then that would be great. It's like having a dunk contest at the end of to settle NBA games after overtime.
That's not a bad idea.
And there you go. Like Steph Curry or Wembanyama would never be able to be in a dunk contest because Wembanyama would be too easy, and Steph Curry can barely dunk if he can dunk at all anymore. So it just seems ridiculous. Your best offensive players often aren't the guys that are on your shootout.
Right.
Are in your shootout early rotation. So I've never cared for the shootout.
No.
I'd rather just have the tie. I like overtime. I like
overtime. The 3-on-3 overtime is fantastic.
Yeah, that's great. So I mean, either just keep doing that or just let them tie, because I'd rather a team not get rewarded just for having a dipsy-do fella. I mean, just look at who takes the penalty shots. It's oftentimes not the stars of the league.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned penalties, Fred, because the Bruins are up 2-1. I think they take.
It's exactly the same as Sunday night there for a while.
You go on the penalty kill a couple of times, and next thing you know,
Chuck wasted no time getting that puck back out in front. Kachuk able to direct one on from the far side of the net, and then gets it to trickle in behind Korpisalo.
lead gone. Bye-bye. It's 3-2 Florida.
It's exactly what happened. Undisciplined. They take back-to-back penalties. I mean, legit, after the first power play goal Florida scored to tie it, they took another penalty about 30 seconds later, and bam, they're behind.
Right.
And we're up 2-1. Now you're down 3-2. Good.
Yeah.
Good.
But the Bruins would claw back, make it 4-3, and then Casey Middlestat.
Here's McAvoy over to the far circle. He had Geeky, took a shot, save made. Middlestat rebound, scores! And there it is. The power play goal, and the Bruins have tied it at 4.
All tied up at 4, going to overtime. No goals scored. No penalties, though, in overtime, which is
Minor victory.
A
Yes.
minor victory, compared to what happened in Tampa the other night when they took 2 penalties in overtime.
Yeah, that's really tough to do, 3-on-3, too.
Yeah.
It's very difficult.
But it did go to a shootout, and as we mentioned, Brad Marchand, who we thought was not going to play last night, did play last night and was on the ice with the shootout attempt for Florida in the shootout.
So we go on to round 4, and Brad Marchand. Marchand 1 for 2 for the Panthers this season. Gets a full head of steam and picks up the puck at center ice. Coming right down the middle. Goes to his backhand. Top shelf scores.
All these guys in the shootout, they've got their different skills. Fred, as you mentioned, it's a specific skill set, just one-on-one in that situation. But Marchand last night skated so much faster on his attempt than anybody else. I'm like, Al, I guess that makes sense. If everybody is doing the dipsy-do and trying to get and just trying to get a 5-hole opening or just trying to get a sneaky little spot like over the blocker, for Marchand, he's like, nah, I'm just going to go real fast and take a shot.
You saw him do that a couple of times with the Bruins recently. And you know what the problem is with going so wide and slowing down? And we saw Bobrovsky do this. Quick poke check.
Yeah.
Right out. You going to take all this time? I'm coming out of the crease. I'm just going to poke it away from you.
Pastrnak said he knew what he was going to do. He said that he said, I honestly knew he was going to do the backhand move. He said that's his move. Mm-hmm. It's the pinch, not the twirl. You understand?
Is it the counterclockwise swirl?
I like to go counterclockwise with the swirl.
I find that a little presumptuous.
There you go. That was on a couple days ago in the triumphant return of Seinfeld to Comedy Central. I'll tell you though, Pastrnak loves Marchand. Like after the game, he was like, "I was happy for him." No, he was. I can read you the quote.
Please, I might have it. Hold on a second.
Yeah, if you have it, you can play it. But so I'll just read it. He said, "Yeah, honestly, I knew he was going to do the backhand move. That's his move. So it was either that."
Oh yeah, I got it. I'm sorry.
Okay, here you go.
Yeah, honestly, I knew it's going to do the backhand move. That's his move. So it was either that backhand high or backhand 5-hole. That was my guess on the bench. But now, obviously, no emotion. You obviously want to win the game. So obviously don't want him to score. But I bet it felt good for him.
Yeah. I mean, I bet it felt good for him. I mean, they love, man, that team. That was it. That was truly a team. Those guys all loved each other. You see a couple of them on the bench right now for with Kelly and Sturm, and then you see the Marchand and Pastrnak, the love affair. These guys very, very close. Rask has got the world's most bizarre job in that he wears a suit to games, but I'm not positive exactly what he does.
Is he an ambassador? He just shakes hands in suites and stuff?
Apparently, Nesson does like a Manning cast for Bruins games.
I've seen that, the Nesson plus the alternate.
Yeah,
I've seen that.
And the only reason I know that Rask does that is he told me.
Yeah.
Because I saw him at Buffs one night because he goes to Buffs. If you want to see Tuukka Rask, you go to Buffs.
What does he do?
He does he wears a suit to the games. And I said, why do you wear a suit to the games? I saw him. I go, why do you wear a suit to all the games? And he goes, well, tonight, I was on Nesson. And I'm like, what were you doing? And he goes, I was doing, an alternate broadcast where it's, a couple guys, I guess. Who knows?
Ray Croft is hosting it. He has 2 Bruins. Rask is one. I've seen Bergeron do it, too.
Yeah.
And the game is on, and they're reacting to the game in real time.
Yeah, I don't really. I guess the Manning cast.
I think I would watch that
people
before I would watch the Manning cast, which I've tried to watch, and I as you know, I have an aversion to watching anybody on a Zoom post-COVID.
Yeah, you're right. That's right. Well, I can understand that, but I see the Manning brothers when it's just the 2 of them. Even though I don't watch the Manning cast, but I've seen highlights of it. I like Peyton. I think Peyton Manning's really good. I think he's actually funny, which is finding a 15-karat emerald for an athlete to be legitimately funny, not clownishly funny.
Yeah.
And
it's very dry.
Yes. And so his brother's a good foil for him. But yeah, if they get a third guy in there, because then if it's an actor, they go way overboard with their fandom or something. They'll have an Affleck on or something, and then all of a sudden, You know how you know how when sports fans talk, you can just tell if they're a sports fan or if they're not. That there's a lot of that. Like a lot of that. You know the information, but you're not saying it in the right way. Like you're extolling the virtues of the team of the town of which you were from, and you know the people that are on it, but you were talking in a fashion that just it's like it's not your native language. That's the way I've always related it. Is that you can study box scores, but it's not your native language. You can tell you didn't grow up discussing sports passionately.
It's funny. I had a conversation on the cruise last week with a guy who was adamant about Eli Manning, Eli Manning getting into the Hall of Fame, and like passionate about it, and for all the reasons that you just mentioned, Fred, because of the Giants, because of New York, because they won Super Bowls. I'm like, yeah, but when you get into like a more detailed, like almost philosophical or, sports-based discussion about him, like what is it about Eli Manning, about his game that tells you he deserves to be a Hall of Fame quarterback? And it's a good argument that can be made, but this guy couldn't make it because, 2 Super Bowls.
Right.
Like, okay, that's not enough, believe it or not.
I think passionate positivity is a big red flag. Like you're passionately positive, because that doesn't seem like normal sports discussion between friends. The passion is usually related towards like real emotion, like not like you're happy with wins and you can reflect and wistfully upon better days. But the real, like when you get like that cutting bite to you is when you're talking about the failures. So it's just like my team's the best. Like, And it sounds more like a cheerleading situation than anything else. All right, we will be back in just a moment. Here are the headlines.
24 hours to go. Oh my God, do you feel that? Earthquake!
Remember the safety scenarios they taught us in school.
Get under a desk. Stop, drop, and roll. Stranger danger. This is the big
Act of desperation, Hardy brought it to the airwaves to try to rustle up some support for it.
Yeah.
There might be a Ultimate fan listening.
We advertise something for the Super Bowl. It's a company for the Super Bowl. I can't remember the name of it, but it was advertising during the Bruins game. And it's a company where they have a tailgate across from Levi's Stadium. There's 80 current players or 60 current players or something. It's 4 hours of all you can eat, open bar and all you can eat food. How much do you think it costs the company to get the lot across from Levi's Stadium for the Super Bowl? You got to pay how much do you have to pay a player to make it worth their while to, stop by a tailgate? How much do you think it takes to make a current player, like, just say it's a middle, like an average player, like the definition of like a war of zero, just dead average player to go to San Francisco and stop by a tailgate?
Oh.
Because I don't know if you fly them, you can't be flying all of them in. Because then because if you're flying all of them in and you're getting that lot and you're paying for the booze and food and everything, you really got to get a lot of people in there.
I would think if you fly them out there and you put them up in a hotel, you cover all their travel, for them to show up at your tailgate and hang out with you for an hour,
half hour, yeah,
5,000.
Yeah, see, that's a lot. Then you're talking about like $1 million.
Yeah, you can't possibly break even. You can't break even on that, can you? With all the payments going on, if you're going to have a lot of players come in and it costs a lot of money to rent a lot that close to the Levi's Stadium and you're flying people in and you're feeding them, you can't possibly break even.
I don't have any numbers to back it up. The only thing I've heard over the years is what, some of the other either A-listers or close to A-listers would get for hosting parties, like what Vince Wilfork got for hosting that big party in Houston because he lived there and he had something going on. And that was like 6 figures for Vince, to have a big thing. But for your average guy, just to get him out there, have him hang.
I'd say more. I'd say 10 grand, maybe more than that.
10 grand, but to 60 guys? I don't know about that. $600,000 was 10 grand. 60 guys is $600,000.
Yes, it is.
I guess maybe. But the lot. How much do you think the lot is for the day, like across from the Super Bowl?
Well, that's $600,000 just for the talent fee. You factor in the flights and the accommodation. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, like I said, it's like $1 million.
Yeah.
So I'm not positive that's I don't know. It just seemed interesting to me because I would think procuring that lot is the hardest part. You'd probably have to do that 5 years before the Super Bowl, right when they announced the Super Bowl. And I don't know. I found the whole thing fascinating. That they got the more the lot that they had that amount of space, and then I can just imagine if I pumped in millions of dollars in this thing and then I needed to fill it. Because you really do need. I would imagine it's quite expensive because you get a ticket to the Super Bowl and you get to go into the lot, but nonetheless, I got to fill that thing, or this is not a cheap enterprise to run.
Right. Briefly, John has been mentioning in his updates this morning, but the Celtics in Houston last night taking on their former head coach Ime Udoka, and without Jaylen Brown dealing with a hammy, Peyton Pritchard once again coming off the bench.
Holiday beat Pritchard, but Cater was waiting to block the shot. Pritchard tucks the shoulder, gets behind Garza. He's got a clean look for the right side. It's a 3, and it's off. Offensive rebound, Cater. Kick out. White shuttles to Ron Harper. 2 threes already. He's going to move it to Pritchard, and his 3 is right down the middle.
Finally, something good happens. Attacking like that, second chance opportunities. and the Celtics have done Joe Mazzulla proud.
Yeah, a little offensive rebounding there and going back to the well. And, of course, Derek White stepping up once again last night.
Derek White falls away from the baseline. That's a really tough shot. He dribbled himself into. No good. Rebound. Harper chased it down, punches it out to Shireman. Return to Harper. Right side. Three in the air. No good. Sailed it. Rebound Celtics to get this one. Shireman free throw line. Shovels out to an open Derek White. 4-3.
I'm surprised that Ime hasn't called the timeout yet.
Well, Ime got himself tossed out of that game in the third quarter
Yeah,
last night.
and then their star player, one Fred's favorite, Alperen Şengün, got ejected in the fourth. That was a case of a good team. And Houston is a good team.
He was in meatballs. Go ahead. You'll get it later. Go ahead. Keep going.
Houston's a good team. They were in third.
I got it. It took me a minute.
There you go.
Third place in the West, and they became unraveled, and they lost control, and the Celtics blew them out. Without Jaylen Brown, without Sam Hauser, who starts for them, and Simons, who's been traded. They haven't gotten Vucevic back yet. That trade's not official. You had Ron Harper Jr., who's a G League player, starting for you last night, and you still won easily. This team's going to, if everything works out, this team's going to be a real pain in the ass to get rid of in the playoffs.
If they can, Cada can keep contributing the way he did last night, 19 boards last night.
22 points, 19 boards. Houston is the best rebounding team in the NBA, and the Celtics out-rebounded them by 20 last night.
Yeah, so
it's a game that the Houston should have dominated.
Second night of a back-to-back, and that at the end of that game, on night number one, wasn't easy. I mean, Dallas made a run at him. I mean, they had some guys play big minutes. And, again, no Jaylen Brown last night. And he still beat the stuffing out of that team. That was
easy
an impressive win.
with the language. Though.
Impressive win.
Yeah.
Easy.
And I don't really understand it either. He just made something. Quit making up phrases on the fly. Caller number 10 to the contest line, 617-931-0985. Will score a pair of tickets to see the Black Crowes at the Xfinity Center on June 19th. Tickets go on sale Friday at 10 a.m. at Ticketmaster.com. Joe Milton sat down with Felger and Maz. We'll play some of the highlights from that because the show has such a relationship with Joe Milton. We will have that free in just a moment.
More Toucher and Hardy on the way on the Sports.
more Toucher and Hardy on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
He went to Tennessee, and you have to understand that my parents live in Tennessee, and they live in East Tennessee by University of Tennessee, where Joe Milton played. Joe Milton was on Michigan. Joe Milton is a physical freak who can throw the ball 190 miles an hour. When he was drafted by the Patriots, I knew exactly what was going to happen, is that people were going to see him in the preseason, and they were going to see like combine stuff of him, and they were going to lose their minds. But I felt to be fortunate because I had already been forewarned about Joe Milton, because the Tennessee fan base couldn't stand him because they weren't good when they had Joe Milton at quarterback, because Joe Milton is exceptionally erratic.
Big arm, though.
So the whole season, everyone crapped on me for, and they said, what do you care? It's a 6th-round pick. And then what do you know? He comes out and he balls out his last game as a Patriot against Buffalo. We all had a good laugh about it. It cost the Patriots number 1 pick, which they turned around and they used on Will Campbell, not Drake May. It's not the reason they got Drake May. It's the reason they got Will Campbell. Believe me, they would have been better off with the number 1 pick and trading out of that pick with Tennessee and then picking up a bunch of other picks. I think you could have been fine without Will Campbell, a substitute. I don't know. Maybe. But it all worked out. They're in the Super Bowl regardless. But nonetheless, so no harm, no foul. Joe Milton had every business trying in that game, of course. Good on Gerard Mayo for trying to win the game, all of those things. But it was funny when Milton played that well for 2 reasons. 1, because I had been crapping on him all season. That's the funniest. And 2, we'll keep celebrating. It cost you the number 1 pick in the draft. But nonetheless, it all worked out in the end. And now the Patriots, of course, are in the Super Bowl. Joe Milton was he's in San Francisco. Right. He's obviously there for a big reason. He had a very fancy chain on. I saw a picture of it.
And probably, presumably, one would think he would rather be with the Patriots. Mm-hmm. And it was, there was a lot of conversation, and the narrative was that, did they not want someone there pushing Drake May? Did they not want somebody on the team who would, played as well as he did in the final game? And
okay, can I step in here? What is the point of that narrative? Milton, by some stretch of the imagination, was good. He wasn't good in college. He hasn't played in the pros. What the hell? Drake May might win the MVP.
Scoreboard,
in the Super
Fred.
Bowl.
Buffalo. He beat a hell of a team that wanted to lose.
But like the narrative of what he was pushing Drake May too hard. That's nonsense. He's never going to play in Dallas.
Or that he didn't do the right things in order to stay here, and you would think he would rather be here and be a part of this
let's
team.
Hear what Joe Milton has to say.
Nah, I'm happy in Dallas. Like, I'm living life in Dallas for sure.
Why would you rather be with a losing team than a team that's in the Super Bowl?
I mean, because that's the team I'm on. But also it's more because look at Dallas. You got CeeDee Lamb to throw to. You got George Pickens to throw to. You got Kevontae Turpin to throw to. You got Jake Ferguson to throw to. I'm in a room with Dak Prescott.
All right. Well,
of course. Yes.
I mean, what's he going to say?
Is he throwing to them a lot? Does he get a chance to?
Actually, 24 times in 4 games total.
All right.
Yeah.
That's an average of 6 pass attempts per game.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what's he going to say? No, I desperately wish I was still on the Patriots so I could be in the Super Bowl.
If I ever got in a game, look at these guys I could throw to.
In fairness to Joe Milton, I mean, what's he going to say? I mean, he's naming Ferguson.
Yeah.
He's like Jake Ferguson.
Yeah.
I mean, CeeDee Lamb and Pickens, you go, okay.
Yeah. Kevontae Turpin, who's kick returner.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, after those 2 names, you're thinking, okay, well, maybe stop.
He's
now.
off the throttle a little.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And you get to play behind Dak Prescott, who's a very good quarterback. But Drake May had a better year, so these are all. But listen, he was forced to make an answer, and he did. All right, what is 6, Hardy?
So this is, and you will hear Felger here with him somehow trying to assign blame to the situation as to why he's not with the Patriots anymore.
Okay.
So do you think you rubbed Drake May the wrong way?
No. Drake was cool. Drake texted me right after I got traded. He was like, man, I suck it happened, but he wish we can keep competing. But me and Drake was having a time of our life.
Do you think you'd rub someone the wrong way?
No. Everybody literally loved me in the building.
Well, then why'd they give up on you? Because I'm sorry, that trade is a give up.
Giving up is a crazy word to use.
Well, they did kind of give up on him. But is there anything in Drake May's personality at all that seems like he could be frazzled by anything?
No.
Like, Drake May really, unless he's and I've heard, I've read his high school football coach talking about him. I've read, because he's in the Super Bowl, there's all these people from his past talking. And the one story that they were like, the headline was Drake, it wasn't even his high school football coach. It was a kid on the basketball team with him in high school. And they were like, Drake finally showed like his true, like he's like a badass, like a super mean guy. And they're like, Drake missed the first couple basketball games his senior year because of football. And then when he came on the team, he was kind of laying back and, wanted the basketball guys like be the basketball guys. Well, like 5 games after that, we're down to one of our rivals by 10 points. And Drake comes into the game and has like 12 points and 10 rebounds in 5 minutes. And that showed how competitive he was. Like, that just shows he's good. Like, he didn't do anything but try. Like, it was like, that's really the story. It's not like he said anything. You kept waiting for like something for him to be like, he just finally like lost it on the bench or grabbed the coach and said, put me in, you son of a bitch. Like, I'm going to take over this thing. There was none of that. It was the coach put him in.
Picked the coach up by the lapels, lifted him off the ground.
Yeah, like, so.
I'm going in!
I find it very, very, very difficult to believe that Drake May, his rookie year, was complaining behind the scenes about the presence of Joe Milton. I don't find that. Do you? I don't have any idea, but all I know is unless he's the world's best actor, I find that very difficult to believe. He stayed at North Carolina. Like, he could have gone anywhere. And because his dad went there, he stayed at North Carolina. He's married to the girl he dated in 7th grade.
You're reading the bio of a badass. I don't know how you don't see this.
I'm applauding Drake May. I couldn't applaud him more. This is all very positive things. Like, I'm saying he doesn't, let alone last year, strike me as the kind of personality that would be so ego-driven. He would say, hey, there's another rookie on this team. I want him out the door.
It's all
Joe Milton sucks. What is it with Joe Milton and you people? And now I'm turning into Felger. But what is it? What is it with Joe Milton and you guys? I don't. He is a afterthought. He's a nothing. There are a million Joe Miltons in the league, around the league.
That's one thing Patriot fans have been very vocal about over the years, the backup quarterback. The backup quarterback. If you only put this guy in.
Well, I remember the kid from Kansas State.
Michael Bishop.
Michael Bishop, but I remember that from afar because Michael Bishop was a big deal in college.
Right.
And he was like an alluring prospect because he wasn't a traditional kind of drop back passer. I understand that. I'm like, none of you knew. The only reason I talked about Joe Milton is I was so thrilled I knew about him. I knew more than anyone did around here about him. And that's so incredibly rare. And that's why I almost to a disgusting, arrogant degree kept talking about him. Why won't this resonate with any of you?
Well, there
needed to be no drama behind the scenes to give up on Joe Milton.
Hold on a second, John. Let me jump in here because in this thing yesterday, Fred, you don't have these, but he explains why. I think he has an explanation for the fascination that Patriots fans have with him.
Are you surprised with how it ended with the Patriots?
As far as what?
I mean, big picture. They draft you 1 year, trade you the next.
Balled out last game. I don't know what else. Would you keep me there?
No. Yes.
Yeah.
I would have.
You would keep me there? And
no.
We talked about it a lot.
No. If Drake May gets hurt in the Super Bowl, you want Joe Milton coming in to the Super Bowl? Now, listen, it's not it's your options now, but at least you got a guy that's been in the league for a long time. You want Joe Milton, second-year Joe Milton, coming into a Super Bowl, coming into a playoff game. I don't know, coming into the middle of a regular season game. You're out of your mind. We'll see where Joe Milton is in 2 years.
You think he didn't play because he wasn't good? That's not the case.
Do you think there's a reason why they didn't give you more opportunity?
I mean, I got drafted in the 6th round, and they drafted a guy at the 3rd pick overall, and they already had brought a guy in, Jacoby, as a vet. So there's probably multiple reasons of that. But other than that, no.
Go play for the Jets. They don't have one quarterback on their team.
You know what?
And I got news for you. They ain't trading for Joe Milton. Watch, they trade from him.
Elliot Wolf gave high fives to everyone after watching Joe Milton in that first half against Buffalo. Said, now we can trade this guy for more than we drafted him for.
Well, they didn't.
Well, I think it was.
Or maybe
it was Milton in a 7 for a 5, if I remember right.
Oh, I don't know if they got a 5.
I think they got a 5 for it.
I thought they got a 6. Or they swapped 7th rounders or something.
I'll look it up. I could have sworn it was Milton in a 7 for a 5.
I don't think they got a 5th round pick for him. I could be wrong, but I'd be surprised. You'll have to look that up.
Okay.
Because I 5th round pick is all right. I don't think they got a 5th round pick. I thought they swapped 7ths or they got a 6th for a 7th. I know they gave up Milton in a 7th, and I thought it might have been just a swap of 7ths.
6, 7.
Yeah. Milton sent to Dallas along with a 7th round draft pick in exchange for a 5th rounder.
Oh, wow.
So I had it right.
Well, good.
Yeah.
Well, then good on Dallas. Good on you. All right. What else? Should I play 7? What do you want me to do? Play 7 or what do you got?
No, 7 is the one I just played. So I think you have 10 there.
I have 8 and 10.
Yeah, let's go with 8. And once again, the notion that he was pushing Drake May too hard.
One of the things that just sort of crept out that you came on too hard in terms of competing. You know, you talked about I'm a competitor, and you got into him a little bit too much, and he wasn't comfortable with it.
No, not at all. That's just my personality. Like, I'm a competitor. Like, when I'm at practice,
you got to try harder or rethink your nature.
You're going to hear me. If I throw a dot, you're going to hear me say dot while the ball's still in the air.
So there's not a lot of him saying dot. It's very rare. It's like Haley's comment.
That or he has plenty of time to do it because he's throwing it 85 yards down the field.
He's got a tremendous arm.
Yeah, he does.
Is it more likely to hear him yell zip code?
Continent.
Time zone.
You're going to hear me. If I throw a dot, you're going to hear me say dot while the ball's still in the air. Like, I know it's your completion. That's just me. That's just my energy. That's the way I carry myself.
Maybe you could have beat out someone and played at Michigan. If you were such a tremendous talent.
It's just amazing.
Played 1 year at Tennessee and we're not very good.
Imagine going through life, like, believing that you're awesome all the time.
Because he's so physically gifted.
Of course he is.
I mean, if this kid walked into a building as a high schooler, I mean, and I was a college coach, I would go, oh, my God, if I can get my hands on this kid, I'll turn him into something. I mean, this is unbelievable. Like, I can – look, who has this kid worked with so far? He's, like, from whatever town. I'll take him. We'll get him in our program, and we'll turn him into the best quarterback of all time. And then you get him in your program, and he's horrible. And that's why fan bases get so upset with him, or in this case, become enamored with him. The curious case of Joe Milton. I'll never forget about Joe Milton for the rest of my life. I'll be on my deathbed in a couple years.
Joe Milton always sucked.
Exactly. Like, you know how there's like stuff that you'll remember, like say I lived for like 30 more years. Like I lived to be in like my early 80s. This is something like 30 years from now I'll remember when Joe Milton was on the Patriots. I can't remember Super Bowl scores, Super Bowl MVPs. I don't remember if Edelman won an MVP. There's like all this stuff that I can't remember. It just does all like meshes together. But there's certain names like So Taguchi. Or like, you know, these like little things like Jeff Lageman. There's these little names that that lie in the sports ether that I will remember for the rest of my life.
I'm with you, and it's my Buddy Farnham, my Nico Kudavides. I just can't shake him.
Yeah, this Joe Milton thing is really. Who would have thought here we would be, Patriots going in the Super Bowl talking about Joe Milton, and finally I have a clip 10. I would like to hear what he has to say.
I already had my mind made up after the Bills game.
You had your mind made up what?
I wanted a better opportunity for myself.
Did you request the trade?
Somewhat. I let my agents do that, but yeah, somewhat. But, yeah, I just wanted a better opportunity for myself. I felt like if I would have stayed there this year, I would have still been on the bench. I would have still been playing behind Drake. My opportunities would have been very limited.
As opposed to sitting on the bench behind Dak Prescott and not playing.
Your chances with the Patriots were 1,000 times better.
Did you request the trade somewhat? In other words, you told your agent, allow the team to trade me, which is their right to do.
Yeah, I want to be a backup somewhere warmer. That's what I want,
and not warm enough to be completely justifiable. I'll listen. There's no state tax. I'll tell you this: is that his prospects going into this season, while not great, would have been better than in Dallas. Dallas is paying Prescott all that money. May wasn't a full-time starter last year. Look, May was going to start, but just in a hypothetical world,
you didn't know he was going to be this good.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
What if May came in and struggled early in the year? You could have usurped him. Like the notion of Dallas being a better opportunity for you is false. It's just absolutely false. But Dak Prescott's going to be the quarterback in Dallas until the last year of that contract. It's short of like some major injury or a complete meltdown. So you're never going to get in there. I can't believe they traded a 5th-round pick for him. A 5th-round pick and a 7th.
Well, they can see
a
it.
5th-round pick for a 7th
they can
and
see
Joe
it,
Milton.
You can't.
Well, we'll see. I will tell you this. There will be a substantial amount of egg on my face if Joe Milton ever truly breaks out.
I think you're good. I think you'd be okay. I wouldn't I wouldn't worry too much. There are a lot of other things you can worry about than that.
Yeah. I mean, who would have even remembered he was on Dallas? But there you go. There's the story of Joe Milton. Felger and Maz, Zolek and Bertrand, they will be in San Francisco again today and tomorrow. And, of course, the Super Bowl will be on this very radio station. All day Sunday into the evening, and I'm sure all night. I'm sure they'll have an overnight show. So we'll actually be...
I would hope so, yeah.
Yeah, I think they will. They'll will have been handed the show from a local broadcast. Will be like WFAN, 24 hours of local radio.
Sam just emailed in, Fred, you're wrong. Joe Milton was doing backflips, all caps, during training camp with the Patriots. If that doesn't show you how great a quarterback he is, I don't know what will.
I mean, I could tell you if that kid walked into if I was scouting and I saw that kid's tools, I would have lost my mind with happiness. And then a year into my program, when he was still terrible, I would have done what Michigan did. I said, take off, go somewhere else. Played 1 year at Tennessee. Not very good. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. Gary Myers, who wrote the book on Belichick, is available. We can talk about Belichick not getting the Hall of Fame.
I'm Boston forward Sam Hauser, and I'm proud to partner with Delta.
And many other things. We can talk to Gary Myers about in one moment.
Toucher and Hardy, those scamps.
In here of a Wednesday and Thursday, and then the families come in and just things start to ramp up.
We are Toucher and Hardy. Gary Myers, the famous sports writer and author. His book, Belichick, The Dynasty Debate, is out now. Gary Myers, hello, sir.
How you doing, gentlemen? What's going on?
Hey, good to talk to you. Good to talk to you. Happy Super Bowl. Are you a Hall of Fame voter?
I am.
Okay. So can you kind of take us through the process this year and how the whole thing works?
It obviously didn't work very well with Belichick and Kraft being not selected. You know, to really simplify it, in past years, we would vote for coach, contributor, and seniors separately. The subcommittee would come up with finalists, and we'd vote on them individually. So you needed 80% to get in. All can get in or none can get in. They weren't competing for votes. A couple of years ago, and this is the second year, they decided they want to make it harder. So they grouped the coach, contributor, and the seniors together. And of the 5, they told us to vote for 3. And whoever gets 80% gets in. And if nobody gets 80%, they take the one candidate with the most number of votes. We leave the meeting having no idea what the results of the voting were. I mean, in full transparency, and I put this on Twitter, and I have no problem telling anybody I voted for Kraft, Belichick, and Roger Craig of the 3. It's very hard, not in this case for me, but it's very hard in most cases to compare a guy who's owned the team versus, say, a defensive lineman like L.C. Greenwood, who played in the 1970s and got 4 Super Bowl rings. How do you compare their careers? It's kind of ludicrous to ask us to do that. It's hard enough to do, players versus players, but we got to do an owner versus a quarterback like Ken Anderson, a running back like Roger Craig or L.C. Greenwood. What's the criteria? I mean, how do you figure out who was better at what they did when they didn't do anything close to being the same thing? So I think it's a really, really poor reflection on the Hall of Fame and on our committee that in cases like this that I consider to be no-brainers, that 2 guys completely stood out from the rest, and that was Kraft and Belichick, that neither one of them got in.
Are there, just very quickly, are there too few voters for this? Because I heard this argument earlier in the week compared to the other halls of fame, where it seems like you've got maybe a bit less chance of a couple of people and a couple of rogue opinions throwing things off a little bit.
I don't think so. We have a really thorough process. Unlike baseball where they just send out the ballots, we sit in a room for 8 hours and discuss everything. And I think it's a really thorough process. One or 2 votes, you needed 11 votes to get eliminated. Had to get 40 out of 50. So if there are 11 people who didn't vote for you, you're out. So you might think it's too small a sample size. But, honestly, when you're talking about, players from a previous generation, now I'm old enough, I covered those players from the previous generation. So I know all about them. I don't really need to be educated, but I don't know that there's, enough people, even among our 50, who, at least in the senior category, watched or covered or know enough about some of these seniors. So I can only imagine if we expand the committee, that problem will only be exacerbated. I think it's fine the way that it is. It's really, to me, like an extenuating circumstance where a guy like Belichick, who is so clearly a Hall of Famer, he has the cheating label attached to him, and some people just felt, if the Hall of Fame is supposed to stand for honor and integrity and everything that is right about the game, how do we put somebody in who cheated? And I mean, I didn't agree with that, even though I was very critical of Belichick during Spygate when I wrote for the Daily News. If people feel that way, guys, and then, they're saying we can't put him in as a first-time Hall of Famer, or we just can't put him in the Hall of Fame, period. It's going to be interesting to see what happens in the next year or 2. I'm sure Belichick will be our coaching finalist again next year. I don't know how it's going to go, because clearly there are people who didn't want to put him in this year.
What about Brady? Like, because whatever the Kraft thing, I don't even know why, unless you're a founder of the league, why owners need to be in there anyway. But Belichick obviously should be in. But Brady you're talking about a player. His stats are quantifiable. The titles are quantifiable. Like you can compare him against other quarterbacks, and in any metric, he would unanimously be voted in.
Of course.
Is there any chance that Brady's not a first ballot guy?
Well, Fred, the first thing I want to tell you is, as far as Kraft, if we're going to put owners in, the last 10 years we've put DeBartolo and Pat Bowlen and Jerry Jones in. And since Jerry Jones got to his last Super Bowl in 1995, Robert Kraft and the Patriots have been to 11, 3 coaches and 3 different quarterbacks. I'm sure it's a stat you're all aware of, but if we're going to put owners in,
I just don't think it's as egregious as publicly. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
it just in the world of football, when people, but I don't think the average person knows Eddie DeBartolo Jr. or that these, or Pat Bowlen is in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Like the Belichick thing is like that's easy to understand. He's a coach who won more Super Bowls than anyone else. And then the players, even like the player, it's just like ridiculous. Like, he's in his own time was being recognized as the greatest player ever. So just if you stack them up, it just gets more and more. Kraft is, I think, at least with the general sports public, the least offensive of the 3. You understand?
Okay, I understand that, and but I'll tell you this: if Tom Brady doesn't get on the first ballot in 2 years, I think we all should resign from the committee.
Right.
But I have been asked that question. If we're going to keep Belichick out for cheating, do we keep Tom out because of Deflategate? Now, I really feel, and I wrote this from the beginning, maybe one of the few who wrote it, I thought the whole thing was a bunch of nonsense. I said from the very start it was a witch hunt by the league because owners were upset with Goodell for not suspending Belichick in 2007 for Spygate. So he took it out on Brady, the face of the league, which was completely ridiculous. Somebody did bring up in the meeting, I will tell you this, I can't tell you who, but somebody said if we're doing this with Belichick and having this discussion, what's going to happen when Brady comes up? I don't think people look at Deflategate, at least I hope not, as egregious, I certainly don't, as Spygate. And if we don't put Tom Brady in on the first ballot, really, they ought to just put, a locks on the door of the Hall of Fame in Canton and say, this thing doesn't make any sense anymore. We're going to just close up the building. Sometimes I just don't get what some of our committee members are thinking, but that's part of the democracy of it all. We have individual votes. It's a secret ballot, and I believe in being transparent, but it is a secret ballot, and you get to vote the way you want, and nobody's looking over your shoulder and telling you what to do.
Gary, when the voting results came out and you saw that Belichick and Kraft didn't make it, or you found out that Belichick and Kraft didn't make it, do voters start calling each other and finding out, who did and who didn't? And is there any anger involved? I can't believe you did this, or I can't believe you didn't vote for this guy.
Well, so far I've only seen 2 people come out and say they didn't vote for him. When it was over, I found out when you did, because they don't tell us. So we leave the meeting, and I was convinced that Belichick certainly, and I thought Kraft, I was almost 100% on Kraft. I thought they got in. I came out right away on Twitter, and I said, I believe in transparency. I voted for Belichick, and then a week later we find out Kraft didn't get in. I was really, really surprised. I was shocked on Belichick. I'm still shocked. I called a couple of friends of mine in the committee to kind of say, what are we doing here? This is such a bad reflection on us. I don't know who the 11 are. I got a sense of about 5 in the meeting, listening to them talk, that they were not going to vote for either one of them. And, people actually, I got a sense who wasn't going to vote for Belichick. I didn't get a sense about anybody who was not going to vote for Robert, because everything in the meeting was very positive. But there were people that spoke out against Belichick, and the whole thing was about the cheating. It had nothing to do with, do we want to put a coach in on the first ballot because we make them wait? I think we should make them wait a couple of years to make sure they don't come back and coach in the NFL. But that's not what kept him out. It was 95% Spygate, and then a couple of voters said, they wanted to put the seniors in because this could be their last opportunity to get in, which is probably true. But what happens next year when we have 3 other seniors that are presented? We can say, well, we got to vote for them because it's their last chance. I mean, you can say that every year about the seniors. So I thought that was a really poor excuse. I did call like 3 or 4 of my friends on the committee, and they were as outraged as I was.
All right. Well, it's interesting, the drama surrounding the Hall of Fame Gary Myers. He voted Roger Craig, Bill Belichick, and Robert Kraft. So we know that Gary Myers voted with his conscience. He has got the book Brady versus Belichick, The Dynasty Debate. It's out now. Gary, thank you for the time, sir.
Take care, guys. It's always a pleasure being on with you guys.
All right. Appreciate it. There you go. The great Gary Myers. He voted for Kraft.
This whole thing with Brady in 2 years could be fascinating. There's got to be multiple people on that committee that are going to decide, you know what? Can't be first ballot. The other 2 guys didn't get in. Why would we vote this guy in? He was part of it, regardless of what his standing is as far as being the greatest player of all time. They'll look at him in a different light. He's not going to be unanimous, certainly. And now it's just, are there going to be enough people that are influenced by the vast minority that are going to hold that line?
But you can let a lot more people in. It would be just so bad because you can induct so many more players from that pool. Like, there's no danger of being some guys last year. There's no 3-person limit.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Like the people he'll be up against, the names are going to be silly.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be some offensive lineman that we all forgot about. There's no way.
There's going to be one guy in that meeting room.
I'm sure there is.
That's going to start stomping and screaming, and somebody or 2 or 3 or 4 people are going to go, yeah, that's right.
And that's why I asked him at the very beginning. I'm like, are there not enough people? Because you can get, 2 or 3 in any group that are going to have some irrational argument. And believe me, I'm not, some, Brady fanboy who says, absolutely, if it's not a unanimous first ballot Hall of Fame selection, then it's a travesty. You can have people who don't want it, but if you have 2 or 3 that can sway 2 or 3 more, that's all it really takes in a group that size, and that's why I think they might be better served by having twice as many people voting for this than what they have right now. And it doesn't have to be an 8-hour long session where you lock yourselves in a room and no one leaves until it's decided.
Yeah, it's a little silly. All right, there is an article out about Mike Vrabel that's got a very interesting story in it from the past. So I'm not no pins and needles here. This isn't revolving around the Super Bowl, but it is worth a brief discussion. We will have that for you in just a moment.
Essential Sports Hub headline presented by
That's what I want on my tombstone.
On the Sports Hub.
Countdown to kickoff.
83 hours to go.
Ew, driverless cars. No way.
I'll take a cable car.
Clang, 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 went the trolley. Ding, 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 went the bell.
San Francisco, here I come. Ding, 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 ding.
And that is, let's just say Nick, Ryan, and John will be in other parts of the building as we look to create a little bit of magic right here at home. So we will have that for you. So Michael Silver went out to get Mexican food and beers, apparently, with Mike Vrabel.
Right on.
And so they're kicking back. The idea, I guess, is it's super cash. I do like that Vrabel can go out to a restaurant in Super Bowl week. He's a big fella. I'd imagine you'd get, but it's Silicon Valley. They're not in San Francisco. He's down in Silicon Valley. So maybe the programmers are not up to who Vrabel is. But nonetheless, there is this story which I find to be unbelievable. Nearly 29 years ago, on the first day of the 97 NFL draft, the Ohio State All-American defensive lineman was sitting in his childhood home near Akron, nervously waiting to find out where his pro football journey would begin. Late in the first round, Vrabel's phone rang. It was from someone in the Detroit Lions draft room who posed a question to the two-time Big Ten Defensive Lineman of the Year. Hey, we're thinking about taking Jerry Wunsch or Juan Roque. Can you tell us which one's better? Blood rose to Vrabel's head. He had played against both offensive tackles, Wisconsin's Wunsch and Arizona State's Roque. During his college career, the Lions, who held the 5th pick of the second round, merely wanted his opinion before turning in their card. If you're not going to draft me, Vrabel snapped, don't effing call me. Vrabel slammed down the phone. The Lions took Roque. The mood at the house, packed with family and friends, grew darker. And then he got taken in the 3rd round by the Steelers. Boy, if that is true, what a ridiculous organization the Lions were back then. Do you think they really called Vrabel and without inquiring about him at all? Or do you think he used that as motivation in the story? Because I graduated in 97 too. Vrabel and I are the exact same age almost. Do you think that story has metamorphosized over the years to being like there was no... Do you think they really just called him and said, hey, which one of these two guys do you think is better?
Or did they soften it a bit, say, we're really looking at you, and we're thinking about taking you? I am just one more quick question here. Like, did they soften it before they just said, hey?
Or how about this? How about like they were having a pre-draft meeting with him, and in the context of the meeting, they asked him about those two kids, and then they passed on him in the draft, and now the story becomes he got called. Now, this is not to call Vrabel a liar, but as we all know, and no memory is precise. No one has a perfect memory. It's not even that we're lying. You could put someone on a lie detector and have 5 people that were all at the same thing watching the same incident describe the incident. They could all be, as far as they're concerned, telling the truth and all have wildly different stories. It just, if that's true, I have to imagine the Lions are the only team in the history of the NFL that's calling random dudes.
Can't be that
on the day of the draft.
During the pick.
Yeah,
during the pick. And then like their board is so imperfect the day of the draft around that time that they're calling kids to ask them about them.
That seems like a call you could have made the week before.
Yeah, or when you were doing your due diligence. I mean, Vrabel was on that team with Orlando Pace, and you got to remember, Vrabel is like one of the best players in college football. He's like a legend at Ohio State. Vrabel against Pace in practice is this thing that's talked about in college football circles is this, if you were only at practice, like Vrabel and Pace, they were two intense, like all-time greats. Like Vrabel is no joke, so I would imagine each team talked to him pretty extensively during the draft process just because, he was a great, great college football player. Like, I'm wondering if that story, it might be true, but for so many reasons that reflect so poorly on the Lions, if it is, that they would, A, be so unsure of that they were going to pick that high in the draft, and B, they would call a kid and just, like, cut to the chase. Which one of these guys, like, and that Vrabel went, if you're not going to draft me, don't effing talk to me. Like, like that, I mean, 97 was a while ago, but it's still, still not, it's still billion, like, $100 million organizations and stuff in 97. Maybe not $1 billion. But it's still a lot of money on the line. Like the Super Bowl was still a big deal in 97.
He doesn't double down on the story, but he doesn't change the narrative in the article. He said, I was mad that day, and it's probably something I carried with me during my time in Pittsburgh.
Which is what I'm saying is that maybe throughout his career, that story got more and more egregious as it was used as fuel and told and retold and told and retold.
Yeah, I think that's probably very true. I mean, there are stories of great athletes using things like that to motivate them. They shape the narrative to shape their anger at a certain time in a certain place.
But if Matt Millen was the GM in 97.
That's a good point. I wouldn't put it by him to be that tone deaf. Oh, sure.
And if Matt Millen was the GM, then maybe it happened exactly how Mike Vrabel remembers it.
Let me look that up while we're doing this.
Because Matt Millen... Again, they had to put a what is it called? A sky? What do they call it when they have the thing at the bottom of the screen that with the words like during the news? Like they have one right there. Chyron. A chyron, like with the news stories that run underneath programming.
Yeah.
Like if there's like a weather report or something.
Sure.
Matt Millen was on Fox after he had been fired by the Lions the same year. He had been fired by the Lions. He was doing pregame for Fox or one of them. And the Detroit station ran. We did not make the decision to hire Matt Millen.
This is a network feed.
This is a network feed. We did not hire Matt Millen. Like we are obligated to take this programming. Da 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 da. I mean, he was truly hated, and he was a dick too. Like he was someone who didn't handle the press very well. Strange. That a lot of times these guys are very fault.
It wasn't him.
Okay, then
somebody else.
Then I'm doubling down. All right, look,
Chuck Schmidt.
Yeah, sure.
That's what it says here.
I don't know. I don't recall that era. All right, look, we're wasting too much time.
Please find something else, John.
No, we have to get all our ducks in a row.
Stretch.
This is going to take all of us.
When we come back. It's Back to the Future.
This is a team outing right here.
John's got to leave the studio. Nick's got to leave.
Yeah.
Everyone's out of their precious little seats, their comfort zones. And we're going to put the pedal to the metal here. Don't worry about what we're doing. And it will all be described in great, great, great detail as to fill as much time as possible.
I'm gonna go ahead and give all credit to both you and Adam 12 for this. This is your baby.
This is a bit of a similar thing to that I've done in the past, but I do believe the original idea was mine, to best of my recollection.
Well, you can take all the credit.
And so I'm going to take full credit for this.
Blame.
All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
You're listening to Toucher and Hook.
We're back. Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Hello. We are Toucher and Hardy. You can watch us on YouTube by subscribing. Go to YouTube and put in 98.5 The Sports Hub and subscribe. I've never seen people move with less urgency. Look at Nick. He's like tying his shoes. He's like picking stuff up off the ground. Even Adam just made a face. He didn't even know he was making it. What's he doing? Why is he not moving? Nick is something else. I would love just to have him do a live show one time.
Oh, you did? Now he's coming back.
Forgot something. No, yeah. Because by the way,
cameras.
No.
Which
He was not doing
down in his bag setting the cameras.
No, he was in his bag. he was doing something in his bag. Nick is something else. Nick has to be down the hall, like now.
Well, he's going down there.
All right, look. Here's the deal. We are not in San Francisco. It is currently 5 a.m. in San Francisco, and we are more than halfway through our show. But how do we bring the excitement of San Francisco to you, the people, as we as New Englanders, we as Bostonians, are at home? Now, well, years ago, and to the best of a recollection, this is my idea, but I could be wrong, but it's the best of my recollection. Game of Thrones was a huge, huge show. And so when something is in the, as we say, zeitgeist, Hardy, how do you capture it? Well, you got to think of an innovative way. Now, Game of Thrones, some people call the toilet the throne. Now, follow me here. The New England Patriots are playing in the Super Bowl.
Oh.
And some people refer to the toilet as a toilet bowl. Now, how does one celebrate these things? And it is to invent a game called...
we got a Honeypot Hill situation.
It's very exciting. John Wallach is... now, the utmost discretion is being taken. Fear not. We have John Wallach located down the hall in front of the bathroom door to make sure that there is no entry. No one is taped without their knowledge.
Acting as sentry.
Yes, he is a guard at the gate. John, what is the scene from the hallway in front of the bathroom right now?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Fred. It's empty for now, but we just had 3 people walk through here. They wanted to use the bathroom. We made sure the coast was clear for this game.
All right, very good. Ryan Beaton and Nick Gemelli are located in a bathroom stall. How are you feeling, gentlemen?
Thrilled to be here. We're good.
All right. All right, you don't have to play that noise. Don't play that noise again. All right, strict to flushing. You're cheapening it and making it. You're making it crass, and I don't like that.
My apologies.
So here is the deal: you have to play too, and Adam, you'll have to play. I have 5 questions here, and Nick will have to answer these questions. Now, the question will be, how many flushes does it take for Nick to answer the question right? Now, Ryan, there is a limit of 5 flushes, okay? So what will happen is I will ask a question, then Nick will have to answer it, and you will continually flush the toilet up until 5. So, okay?
Super Bowl.
So, if there are 5 questions I have right now, how many are you guessing that Nick can answer at all? Just Super Bowl trivia.
He will not. I don't think he'll get 2. I'm going to set the total at 1.5, and I'm going under. I'll say 1.
Okay.
I have a bit of a bias as I am the person who wrote the questions.
Unless there's a bonus situation, but yes.
Right. So I still think. What did you say, Hardy?
I said 1.
I think he'll have 2. I think he can get 2 of these.
Oh, how appropriate.
Super Bowl.
1 and 2. Both numbers used to describe excretory functions.
Now, these are bowl flushes, not urinal flushes.
No. They're in a stall.
Okay.
With a proper toilet.
Okay.
Not a urinal. This is not sexist.
Do you want us to do a test flush?
Yeah. That wouldn't be a bad idea. Let me hear. Okay, that would be 1 flush.
Ryan has the phone so close to the toilet that it's like a walk.
Yeah, don't take that anywhere. Bring that right back to Daddy when it's done.
Wallach, are we still all clear? Do we have the green light to continue?
All systems go here. The hallway is clear.
All right, very good.
Super Bowl.
Yellow light.
All right. Are you ready for your first question?
Sure. Yeah, let's do this.
The Patriots. First Super Bowl win was Super Bowl 36 back in 2002. What's 36 in Roman numerals?
There's 1 flush.
It's X. It was short. XXXVI.
Oh!
Wow.
Nicholas.
Congratulations.
Those flushes are short. They get shorter.
I know,
That's not fair.
but buddy, huh? We got it in within 5. John, what's the scene outside the bathroom right now? Is there a crowd growing?
Not yet. We're all still clear here.
All right, you're breaking up. Obviously, the government has stepped in. All right, here we go. Can Nick answer this in under 5 flushes? The Patriots made it to the Super Bowl twice before Super Bowl 36, the one that they won, the one that you just aced.
Yes.
What were those 2 years and who did they play? Oh, Nicholas, let's start the flushing.
So 1996 against Green Bay and 86 against the Bears.
Wow.
Nicholas, you are wrong. You're off by 1 year. You got the teams correct in the 86 team, but they played the Packers in 97. The Super Bowl was in 97.
It said 96.
It was the 96 season.
Right.
That's right. It is the Super Bowl. John, still no traffic in the hallway.
All clear here, fellas.
Are you sure we shouldn't stop this? Do you think there's a chance that someone might come down the hall?
No, don't let I'm just wondering if there's starting to be a crowd.
Maybe might come here.
Well, that's why you're there.
All right, he's 1 for 2 so
The
far.
cleaning lady, she goes in there, and you're not able to go number 1 because the cleaning lady's in there. So maybe a taste of her own medicine this time.
Only 3 more.
Well, no. But it could be bonus round. All right.
Okay.
Here we go. How are you feeling, Nick? Do you feel like you have to make because you're so close to the toilet?
I've been looking at the toilet so much. I maybe.
Do you think you could make now if you had to?
I don't know. It'd be kind of weird if Ryan was standing right next to me, but
don't worry. You get used to it. Prison style, baby. All right, here we go. How many flushes? Can you do it within 5 flushes? This former Patriots linebacker and Seahawks assistant special teams coach.
Oh man.
Once infamously defecated on the sideline during a game. Now, Nick, this was brought up many times in interviews that we've done on shows that you've been a part of. This former Patriots linebacker and Seahawks assistant special teams coach once infamously defecated on the sideline during a game. Ryan, begin the flushing. 1.
Charlie?
2. No, you're way off. You're not even close. That's 3. His name doesn't even start with a C, stupid. That's 4 flushes. You're not going to do it in time because this is 5. The answer's Larry Izzo. He's the one. He made number 2 on the sideline.
All right.
Okay.
Yes. Sorry. Yeah.
Remember, he used to take his lunch in? He used to take lunch into the toilet with him, into the stall?
Yes.
Nick, if you could have one meal in that stall, what would it be?
Oh, man. It's probably a...
John, you still okay outside there? John, you still okay?
We're still all clear, fellas.
Not
No
even
traffic.
not even a hint of a crowd, huh?
No, not even a hint.
You know, we could have been doing this with San Francisco plumbing.
It could have been much worse.
Yeah. Hello. There'd be a shoe under that door. If you know. We're playing the Super Bowl if you're just joining us. Nick Gemelli and Ryan Beaton are in the bathroom. They're in a stall.
Good reset.
We're asking them Super Bowl questions to see if he can get the question right within 5 flushes. John, the scene.
Mm-hmm.
The scene from the hallway.
Very empty, fellas.
All right.
Oh, here's a guy who's walking by right now.
All right. Well, you keep him out.
Okay.
All right. That's your
Sorry,
job.
you can't come in.
Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. All right. Everyone. All right, Nicholas. Here's your question. Everyone talks about the Patriots coming back from a 28-3 deficit in Super Bowl 51 to beat the Atlanta Falcons.
Mm-hmm.
Nicholas, within 5 flushes, what was the final score of that game? Well, you
Was
know
it 32-27?
No, that's 1 flush. Keep going. That's 2 flushes. What are other numbers?
Was it 28-27?
28's one of the numbers. That's 3 flushes. That's 4 flushes.
28-34?
Reverse it.
Oh. 28-32? 34?
No, by reversing it, I meant to reverse it. It was 34-28.
I think he gets that one.
He doesn't. Not in Super Bowl.
True.
It's too much at stake.
I get that one.
Nope. I gave you too many hints, and no, you don't.
No.
Nope.
Yes, I do.
No. Well, it won't count because I'm the official word. I'm in charge. John, the scene from the hallway.
That one guy's gone now, fellas. We're all clear.
Thanks, John.
Thanks, John.
There's someone going to the elevator right now. I'll keep an eye on him.
Okay.
Everyone feeling okay in there? Ryan,
Yeah, we're
Nick,
great.
you ready
Ryan,
you ready for one last question?
Yeah, let's bring it.
We're playing a game called the
Super Bowl.
All right. Can you get this right in 5 flushes? So far, you've gotten 1 right, but you weren't that far off on 2 of them. So for Nick, this isn't so bad.
Pretty good.
You could. Hardy had the over/under at 1.5, so this you can go over with this one.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you will,
Thanks, man.
because I think you will get this right. The last Patriots Super. Can you name this in 5 flushes? As we play Super Bowl.
Super Bowl.
All right.
Yeah.
It's called the Super Bowl because the toilet's in the Super Bowl game.
I get it. Yes.
Well, I'm making sure.
Okay.
The last Patriots John, the scene out in the hallway. We're clear?
Still clear. We had a woman go by, but she didn't.
All right. Well, she's not allowed in there anyway, so you keep her clear.
Yeah.
Just for proprietary reasons. This ain't no woke company. The last Patriots Super Bowl appearance and win was Super Bowl 53 in 2019. Who did the Patriots beat, and what city was the Super Bowl played in?
Repeat that? Sorry,
All right,
sorry.
I can.
Repeat that?
Super Bowl rules apply. I will repeat it once.
Thank you.
The last Patriots Super Bowl appearance, it was a win, was Super Bowl 53. In 2019, who did the Patriots beat and what city was the Super Bowl played in? Can you name that in 5 flushes? That's 1 flush.
Well, they beat the Rams.
Yes.
But
That's 2 flushes.
I want to say Indy. In Indy?
No, that was the first one we went to. That's 2 flushes. Now, for third, this is where the Jim Gray interview took place.
SoFi? No, it wasn't SoFi. It wasn't. I don't think
No, we weren't in L.A. Where are the flushes? That's 4.
That's 4.
Oh, God.
Ryan?
Putting a lot of stress on this toilet.
Take your time.
All right.
Atlanta.
No, you didn't get it in time.
You only got 1 right, dummy.
Super Bowl. Damn it, Nick.
I could be 3 up right now.
You could have had 4.
Yeah.
I mean, if you got them right. You could have had 5 if you got them all right. You got the first one right, and you started feeling too good about yourself.
But this is Super Bowl.
This is going to be debated for years.
All right. John, the scene from outside the bathroom.
We're all clear, fellas. If you want to keep going.
No,
we're all set.
No, we're all set. That was
we got a Honeypot Hill situation.
No problem.
Super Bowl.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, all right, you're off. Goodbye.
What was that?
I don't know. That was a real fart.
No, it was me.
All right. Well, there you have it. That's all you need to get you through until Sunday. The segment was called the Super Bowl, and it was bathroom trivia about the game, the Super Bowl. Mike Dussault will be joining us in just a moment.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
I can't imagine after that why you'd ever have an erectile dysfunction problem. But men, 50% of men over the age of 50.
practice.
I am. I got the stadium right over my shoulder here. I don't know if you can see the video, but yes, indeed, I've been here.
5:28. You were up in the morning for us. We do appreciate it, Mike Dussault. And the Patriots hooked you up. You're at the team hotel, I take it.
Yes, I am. I'll be switching over. We have all the family and friends coming in today, so I'll be moving hotels. But no, we'll be local. Been here since Sunday night. Flew out after the rally. It's been a whirlwind so far, guys.
Do you think there is something to knowing the process? Like there is a lot being made of, the experience that Vrabel and McDaniel have, and it's not so much even on the field, but I've heard it like the experience of the week in general and what is like required of you in the press and everything. Can you see from your angle like the value in having experience with that?
I can a little bit. I mean, I would say this is my first Super Bowl, and so many people in the organization have been to like 10 of these things.
This is your first Super Bowl?
It's my first one, indeed. I started the year after they won their last Super Bowl. So,
wow.
I've heard a lot of people say
You're Stacey James, who's been there since the late 70s. Go ahead.
Or Andre Tippett, who last night pointed out he's been to every single one of the Patriots Super Bowls as part of the Patriots organization. But one thing I'll say, Fred, is it seems like it's changed a little bit. I mean, the Super Bowl always evolving, and some of the people have said just planning-wise, logistics and all that, it's always evolving. So it has been a little bit different, I guess. I have nothing to compare it to, but it seems like, it's always evolving how they run this thing.
Okay, so Drake May, full participant yesterday in practice. I'm guessing that this, unless he doesn't look right, this ends the speculation on the shoulder as far as you're concerned, or what do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that's a great sign yesterday, seeing him a full participant. We actually had Dr. David Chow, who kind of started the firestorm on our podcast yesterday. And, he was just pointing out what he saw. And
wait, he did your podcast? How much you have to pay him? You got Dr. David Chow? My friend.
It was great. And then we didn't even see, I guess he got into a verbal altercation with Brian Leaf, which he was talking to us the whole day. And then we got out of the after media day and we're like, wait, he was in like a fight with Ryan Leaf when he was talking to us. Like you would never have known, but he was great. He came on and look, guys, I mean, Drake's 23 years old. I remember what it was like to be 23, where the little bumps and bruises heal up pretty quick. So I'm confident Drake's going to feel pretty good. And I think these extra week off will do everybody a lot of good.
What about Spillane? He did not practice yesterday. He says he's going to play, but what does it mean to you that he didn't practice yesterday?
Yeah, that's not a great sign. I mean, he said a few days ago, 100% he thinks he's going to play. I think that's how Spillane is, though. He's a super intense dude. I'm sure he really wants to play. Harold Landry came back, though. That was, positive sign. That was another thing we talked to Dr. Chow about yesterday is, what percentage are these guys? And really you get to the point where you got to juggle roster spots. Do you need extra linemen? Do you need, extra wide receiver, whatever it might be? So I think there's going to be some tough decisions. It's a bummer to see Robert Spillane, not practice yesterday. Maybe they're saving him. Maybe they're just trying to get him as healthy as possible. But I think there's real concern. What percent is he going to be able to play at?
And the other part of it was Seattle's practice. They had everyone on the field, but they lost Nick Emmanwori early, and Sam Darnold, for all the conversation about his oblique, was limited as well. So some news from the other side.
Yeah, we caught that last night with Emmanwori. I mean, he's a huge part of their defense. He's a great player. I mean, outstanding rookie, and really just flies to the ball, makes plays. So something to monitor for sure as we get into this practice today. What's that practice report look like, both for the Patriots guys, but overall, those are definitely the biggest questions, and that Emmanwori thing is definitely something to monitor today.
Am I right in ignoring the whole limited thing for Sam Darnold? He's been limited going back to the middle of January, and there was, the questions were tried. The people were trying to raise questions about his availability for the NFC Championship, and I never thought he wasn't playing. But is it right to just kind of like chalk that up as business as usual? Darnold listed as limited yesterday?
Yeah, another thing we asked Dr. Chow about, and he said at this point he's been dealing with it so long and he's had the extra time to heal up. I mean, he was a couple weeks ahead of Drake's injury. So, yeah, even Dr. Chow said he doesn't think that that's going to be a real issue. There's always the old Toradol shot, too, to help with that if it is a little bit of stiffness. But overall, I think I'm just expecting Sam Darnold to be pretty much ready to go.
Doesn't it look like he's got a green screen behind him with those stadium lights in the background? That doesn't even look real.
Everything is framed too well. I agree.
Well, I have a master's degree in television production, so I'm trying to put it to work since I am still paying student loans on that.
Well, that is required to have a master's degree in that. There is no question without that advanced degree. You cannot do that.
Deuce was a production assistant on what was the Tool Time show?
Home Improvement.
2.5 Men.
Oh, 2.5 Men. He was.
Look at this idiot with Tool Time.
Well,
that's Home Improvement with Tim Allen.
I knew it was some show that I didn't watch that you did. And there's a lot of those.
Home Improvement was set in suburban Detroit. He would wear a local college's sweatshirt in later seasons, almost every episode. So you were 2.5 Men. So you were there with Charlie Sheen?
Yep, I was. I came in there, worked for a production company called the Tannenbaum Company. I was there for 13 years, and they had just put 2.5 Men on the air, so I was around Charlie a lot in the early seasons. So anytime you see like a rerun, if there's like season 2 through 5, I was pretty much at all those shows.
But that was that pre or post? That was pre-breakdown then.
Oh, so that was pre-breakdown, and then I got to witness firsthand because for my bosses, 2.5 Men was their golden goose. And when Charlie went off the rails, because I will say in the early parts of the show, most professional guy, you would never realize that there were any issues or anything like that. But then when the tiger blood started and all that stuff, my bosses were losing their mind because he was killing their golden goose right in front of their eyes.
But I've met the guy. I've spent time with him. By all accounts, a good guy though.
Oh, great guy. The funny thing was we had a bunch of people sitting out front, assistants, and they're all like, Charlie Sheen's coming in, and he would come in and be like, hey, how you doing? Good to meet you. And they were all like, oh, hello, Charlie. Like everyone was smitten with him. Like he has that innate charm about him.
Big baseball guy.
Yeah. What was the typical thing that you would have to do, like at work?
So I was like an assistant to the producers. It was organizing their lives. But as I was there for a while, my job evolved into sitting in casting sessions, sitting in editing sessions, going to get coffee, pretty much whatever needed to be done. I got it done. We were a small production company, only 5 people, but we did a lot of different pilots other than 2.5 Men. A couple made it to the air, but most of them you put all this work into pilots and they never get picked up. So it was, I was out in LA for 18 years working in television and 13 years with that company. And it was quite the experience.
And
the kid became kind of a weirdo from 2.5 Men.
He did. He had an interesting background too. His dad was like this 6'6" truck driver, and his mom was like this 4'10" little thing, and and they were always around. And he was great. I mean, he was great as the chubby, the schlubby kid early on, but then all of a sudden,
yeah. He started to resent it, which is rare for the child actor.
But yeah, you hardly ever see that. Would you call your position now more glamorous or less glamorous? I mean, you get to hang out with the likes of Paul Perillo.
The #1 sports radio talk show in the morning. Then now.
Okay.
Come on, Hardy.
Okay.
Now.
All right. I mean, you're a hotel. It's Super Bowl week. This is great for you.
Right.
All right. So you must be pleased that the defense has been a huge topic of conversation for both sides. The rosters get talked about a lot, and how Seattle seemingly has the better roster on paper. You dig deep though defensively, Mike Dussault. Defensively, do you give the nod to Seattle, and by how much?
Maybe just a little bit. I think if you had a full strength Robert Spillane and a full strength Harold Landry, it'd be pretty close. I do think these defenses are very similar, and being able to pressure with 4, that's a big thing with Seattle. They don't have to blitz a lot, but when they do, they pick their spots and they're really effective with it. I've had a ton of fun, Hardy, this whole postseason, just watching all these defenses. And Seattle maybe doesn't quite have the star power that some of these previous defenses did, especially a guy like Will Anderson. But overall, they just play so well together. And that's a sign of what we've seen from this Patriots defense too. And that's a big part of Spillane. I think he got guys back on the same page, but I will highlight Jack Gibbons. I think he stepped in and done a really good job. And if he needs to step in and do that again in the Super Bowl, I think he's capable of doing it. But really excited about how the defense has been playing. And I think Christian Barmore, Milton Williams, those guys are just going to be huge in this game. They've got to get Sam Darnold off his game. They've got to get him to see ghosts again. I think they can do it. But he's a good player, and certainly JSN is a major weapon that's going to make some plays.
All right. So you sound like you think you like the Patriots in this game.
My confidence is really growing. I mean, I've kind of gone into this feeling like, hey, we're playing with house money. We'll just see what happens. But seeing just how confident the team is right now, they don't want to stop playing. They seem to like each other so much. And I know the power of friendship can be overrated sometimes, but this team seems to me special. And as the week goes on and you see how they're carrying themselves, Seattle's a great team. I think this is going to be the biggest challenge they've had yet. But I've just got this growing confidence now that the Patriots can do it. We'll see. We know how these Super Bowls are. They can get weird. There can be big, strange plays that flip the whole game on its head. But I just think they're going to go in there and they're going to give Seattle hell. We'll see what it looks like on the scoreboard at the end.
We've had 5 days. Everyone has had 5 days to kind of dissect and analyze all of this. And I'm wondering, how much has your opinion changed since Monday morning? Did you think Seattle was going to win Monday morning? You said your confidence is growing. Have you flipped?
I mean, I wouldn't say I was like, oh, they can't win. There's no way. I mean, this is the NFL. And, Seattle's got a really interesting track to get here, playing two division teams, two teams they're super familiar with, both times being at home, which, I've been to a couple of games in Seattle. It's a super cool place. It's a major home field advantage for those guys. So, an unfamiliar opponent, there's just a lot of things, I think, pointing towards the Patriots to just give them at least, I don't want to say a puncher's chance, because I think it's more than that. And really, I think it just comes down to Drake May. Can he get back to that MVP level? Can he attack this Seattle defense deep? Does he get back that accuracy that, when we were in Denver, you see some of the passes are low. I don't know if that was weather or shoulder or what it was. But if Drake May gets back to his MVP, the way he was playing in the middle of the season during that 10-game win streak, I really have some confidence that they're going to have a good chance to win this game.
You're also, very quickly, Mike, you like all of us here, a big movie buff. What is your take on the adoption of the Warriors phrase and its usage in this Super Bowl week?
Well, Perillo and I, and definitely Perillo more than me, but he's got a bone to pick, which is that that's the villain, that's the guy that gets killed, that's yelling the Warriors. I get wanting to be the Warriors and everybody's against us, so I get that part of the metaphor. But the overall yelling the Warriors part, I mean, that's Sonny from Commando, who got dropped off the cliff. I mean, a great villain. But he doesn't make it through the movie, so there is, a little bit of discrepancy exactly. But it's been fun. Hey, I love old '70s movies, and anytime the Warriors comes back into the cycle, I'm down with it.
No, it's a terrible film. Now
he's also the villain in the Dennis Quaid vehicle Dreamscape. You'll see him play a villain.
Well, of course. I mean, everyone knows that. Yeah. But we have talked about that. There seems to be like a cognitive dissonance with the ending of '70s and '80s movies, like Scarface. Not a great ending for Scarface. Sister accused him. See, now everyone's trying to do it. They can't do it.
No,
all right.
Give him a little Scarface, Fred.
See, that was perfect. That was dead ringer. You thought Al Pacino was here. Okay.
Is that a clip? Did you guys just run the audio?
No, that was me. All right, Mike Dussault. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
appreciate it. There you go. Mike Dussault, our award-winning email segment before we bring on Phil Perry in just a moment.
Essentials.
YD. Okay?
Toucher and Hardy, mornings on the Sports Zone.
Countdown to kickoff. 82 hours to go. If you're going to go to San Francisco, Mike Felger has some great tips for you.
2 pieces of advice if you're coming here. Head on a swivel, be aware of your surroundings, and seek higher ground. The neighborhoods automatically get a little nicer the higher you go, and I think it's because the zombies can't walk up the hill. Drugged out people in wheelchairs with their dogs. It's like Mad Max.
Awesome, Mike. Thanks.
Accident. You got to get Glassman. Don't just send an email. Call all sevens. 617-777-7777 or visit gottagetglassman.com. A lot of talk about the Super Bowl bit we did with Nick.
Super Bowl.
It's a lot like the Game of Thrones bit from when we were in Dorchester, in that you flushed the toilet while Nick answered questions. Because Game of Thrones, the throne is the toilet. Super Bowl, the bowl is the toilet.
Thank you again for the reset.
Yeah. And so Nick would have to answer questions, see if he could get in 5 flushes.
Right.
I don't remember. Which is way different than the last time.
I don't really remember. Well, to my recollection, and the best of my recollection, Game of Thrones was my idea. So I can take it.
Mm.
I don't know for a fact because some of these ideas are just in the air. I'm sure Ira Glass has done Super Bowl or Game of Thrones or something like that.
When an idea is that good and so life-changing, it's like, whose idea was the wheel? I don't know. I mean, it's like it's just something that the world needed, and it was there.
Right. And was you influenced by the Beatles, or were you influenced by Buddy Guy, who influenced the Beatles, or something of that nature?
Same
you understand?
thing. Yeah, I'm with you.
Or B.B. King.
Sure.
You know?
Robert Johnson, but I understand what you're trying to say.
Put on Robert Johnson. Let me cook.
Very unfortunate.
Real badly recorded. Real crap.
That everyone has to listen to.
How are the songs, though?
Not good at all.
How's the playing? Is he a virtuoso on that instrument?
I don't even know if that had 6 strings or if it was in any kind of tune. Good for people taking that and turning it into music today, but my goodness. That's what it sounds like. He's like 7 miles away from the mic. Maybe it was in his time. It was very revolutionary. Not in 1997 or 2000 when people were playing it for me. That was already long gone.
I never tried with the Robert Johnson. There was one guy on my dorm room floor who had it, who insisted upon it. I did try with John Lee Hooker because I actually saw John Lee Hooker perform.
Well, he was like alive and creating. He was in the Blues Brothers.
Yeah, I mean, and he was cool. And I tried to go back and listen to old John Lee Hooker stuff. And outside of Boogie Chillin', which I know from the Blues Brothers movie. Well, that's. I don't know what the name of that one.
When she woke, Boogie
Chillin' is the. I heard Mom and Papa talking. I heard Papa tell Mama to let that boy boogie woogie because it's in him and it got to come out.
I said, Gabriel, you stay and watch.
But you go back and listen to the original John Lee Hooker recordings. Again, it's tough.
I love that talk. That baby talk. And whisper in my ear. Tell me that you love me. I love that talk. That baby talk. Hey, hey. Ho. Sure. James says, Nick, hey, boys. How come none of you gave Nick crap about the 5th question? The Pats were down 28-3. What was the final score? Nick says 27-26.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
I heard Hardy laugh, let's go Pats. You'll have to understand that we were playing the Super Bowl, and I was hosting it.
Super Bowl!
I had to make sure that John wasn't asleep on the job, that he was washing the bathroom. I had to make sure that no one dropped it. I had too much on my plate to be analyzing answers. I mean, legally, the amount of pressure on my shoulders. So, no.
A significant amount of people want you to give Nick credit for eventually getting it right, even though he had the score reversed.
The 28th.
By significant, what do you mean? One or two?
Three people.
I used to do that just to bother Paul Perillo. I used to give the score incorrectly with the lower score first when I was signing off in every Patriots postgame.
How did he take that?
Enraged, and then it got to the point where he would just kind of shut down. I would say, Patriots lose a close one here today. Final score from Arizona: Patriots 14, Cardinals 17.
Yeah.
Well, the home team goes last, baseball style.
Sure. Right.
Yeah, baseball style. Baseball, I know what you're talking about. I believe in Europe they reverse everything.
Well, it's soccer, and when you're trying to determine like who's home and who's away, yes, that's the home team goes first in the matchup.
Well, that's how it is for our sports as well. If you're watching it on TV, you know the lower team is the home team, the top team is the visiting team. We're aware. It's only when reading scores. So really, it's Perillo that's got the problem.
He would argue otherwise. He said I had a problem, and then I was causing problems.
In fact, if you were like Mariners beat the A's 2-0, or
no, you would never give the lower score first ever.
But I would understand if the Mariners played the A's, A's, and then I would understand. I guess not.
No,
the lower, but the lower score makes sense. The away team or the home team, whatever. Look out, Marconi. Spelled Morcini, which
Close.
I can't imagine that's how you spell Marconi. Send this bid in, guys. Just wait for the adulation. This is the true high water mark.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. Sam says, you already read that one. All right, go ahead. You go.
I did finally hear back from President Switzer of Buddha, the Boston Ultimate Disc Alliance. Hardy, between the auction, Hall of Fame Gala, and some straight-up donations, raised close to $15,000 for Youth Ultimate in our community. The disc got multiple bids and went for $50.
Whoa!
Thank you again for the disc and mentioning the auction on the air. I'm sure you drove a lot of traffic to it. Hey, our pleasure.
You want to hear the most random thing someone's pissed about that has nothing to do with us? This is truly the lamest region in the country. This is from JP.
Okay.
We need. Just rolls right off the tongue, doesn't it? No, before you laugh, the contrabulous fabulation of Professor Horatio Hunfenagel is easier to say. I have to laugh all the time at these liberal white dorks culturally appropriating ebonics when it suits their needs. They hate us because they ain't us is another one. That's why this state is hemorrhaging taxpayers and jobs.
Of course.
You understand?
Yeah, Crystal. I'm with you.
I like that because I don't say it, and I didn't come up with it, but I agree. Quit appropriating ebonics. You're making people leave the state, and we're losing taxpayer money.
Yeah.
30,000 people left Massachusetts last year, and you know why? Don't even get me started on Bad Bunny. Don't even get me going on Bad Bunny. That's a call to arms, my friend. All right, we will be back in just one moment.
Stay tuned for more Toucher and Hardy on the Sport. comes to the show, Heidi thinks the same way you do.
Nothing happened.
He's got the same questions.
Where is the story?
And the same opinions.
Boring.
And he's back with Fred on the Sports
Hey,
Zone.
Stefan, I like the hoodie, man. I
Thank
need a
you.
hug, too.
Appreciate it. I don't really need a hug. Don't touch me, but
it's all good.
Phil Perry covers the Patriots for NBC Sports Boston. Hi, Phil.
Good morning, fellas. How's everybody doing today?
I'm a little more excited about the Super Bowl now that I've learned that John Bon Jovi, Boston's own John Bon Jovi, will bringing out the New England Patriots on Sunday.
I did not hear this. So he's going to be leading the charge. He's going to be leading these guys out onto the field.
Yeah.
Well, I believe he'll be doing the pre-recorded introduction, the long-winded speech given before each team is introduced on the TV set.
Oh, right. That thing that's never overdone. That
Right.
really gets everybody fired up and ready to go for the biggest game of the year. Got it.
It was Bert Kreischer, or whatever his name is, last week, or 2 weeks ago during the Denver game. So you had that excitement.
Is he a Colorado guy?
No, he is a Florida guy, but he was there and he was talking. But he has a Netflix show.
Oh.
He's at the height of his popularity, so he was on there. But yes, it is the great John Bon Jovi.
Has the line moved at all? That's what I want to know. Has Vegas changed the line based on this information?
We might be able to get in early. I don't even know if they're up yet over there at the sports books. We could start shopping lines and see what's going down. But yes, it's John Bon Jovi. It's a little odd, but that is what we have going. How is everything down there in San Francisco? Are you in San Francisco?
I am. I'm in San Francisco. I'm at my hotel right now. The Patriots obviously are in Santa Clara, so I'll be getting on a shuttle or an Uber or something to go down to their availability in a little bit here. So a little bit of travel back and forth between where the team is and where Radio Row is and all of our media responsibilities. But it's been good. It's been good so far. I wouldn't say it's anywhere close to like New Orleans in terms of Super Bowl hosting cities. But it's not an F. It's probably like a C+.
Okay. Felger and Maz are no fans of it.
Yeah.
But you're having a better time.
Yeah, like I said, it probably wouldn't be if I was in charge. It probably would be a situation where you'd have like 3 cities rotate, and I don't think this would be one of them.
Right. It's really if you have a downtown stadium. That's really what the main thing is. If everything's located close to each other, then because Indianapolis is by no means a great city, but unanimously, if you ask people how it was as a Super Bowl city, they'll say it was great.
Everything was within walking distance.
Yeah, it's
5-minute walking distance.
And there's like not a ton, but there's
Yeah.
enough for like a week, and everything's right around there. They have a big convention center that's across the street from the stadium, and the restaurants are by the stadium. Like, I don't care about the city. It's just basically the location. Like Atlanta. Atlanta's got the stadium downtown. The hotels are downtown. It's fine. You can walk around. It's a better city than Indianapolis, but it's even a little bit more spread out. All right, anyway.
Phil, I'm glad you addressed something yesterday in the column that you wrote. And it goes back to, because we're hearing it brought up again and again now, if they can make Sam Darnold see ghosts again. Because that infamous game, now 6+ years or 5 whatever years ago it was, got, I think, taken out of context immediately. And you kind of help once again right the ship on that. Not that Darnold was good in that game, but his whole utterance of "I'm seeing ghosts out there" was taken to mean like, I can't believe it, I'm completely spun around. And as I remember it, it's when he's on the bench, he's looking at a tablet, he's examining his own play from that game. And it's like, God, I'm seeing ghosts. Like, what am I doing wrong here? It wasn't that he was completely out of his element and so shook by what the Patriots were doing. It's really just an assessment of his poor play. And I think you kind of led off with that yesterday.
Yeah, it was, my understanding of it is basically like football parlance for I'm not sure what's going on out there right now. I'm not 100% confident in what I'm seeing from a football standpoint, like from a schematic standpoint. I think people heard that, saw it on Monday Night Football, and they said, wow, he's actually spooked out there. He is truly afraid of what's happening around him.
They took it
and
literally.
That wasn't the case. It wasn't that. It was this football thing though that has followed him, and that's what's interesting to me about this week is what kind of Darnold will the Patriots get? because he is somebody who, while he did have an excellent season in a lot of different ways, and he's gotten his team to the Super Bowl, and he just played the game of his life in the NFC Championship game, which was a performance that any quarterback would have been happy with. He also is the guy who led the NFL in turnovers this year, and he is the guy who is 28th in EPA per dropback when under pressure out of just 33 quarterbacks in football. So on the one hand, you could look at a lot of his numbers and say, boy, this looks like a top 10 quarterback, but he still does have this tendency to screw it up if you bother him a little bit. And I do think there are ways the Patriots will be able to bother him. It's one of the reasons why I think this is going to be a closer game than maybe Vegas believes. It's why I think the Patriots actually have a very good chance to win this game, is because I think they will be able to bother Darnold. There are some matchups that favor the Patriots in this one, and their defense specifically. And I think he'll make a game-changing mistake. I'm not fully bought in to what Sam Darnold has done. I've talked to a lot of national media people this week who are. They are believers in Sam Darnold. And I can't get on that ship, because he has shown it in the recent past, not the NFC Championship game, but in the recent past, that he will make a game-changing mistake if you can get to him.
Phil, how much has your opinion on this game changed from Sunday night to now? I mean, there's a lot of time to analyze and reanalyze everything and run numbers. I'm just wondering, did you always think that the Patriots had a chance to win this game, or as the week has gone on, you've kind of come around to that idea?
Well, there are two things that have happened relatively recently that are sort of, affirming my belief there. And number one is that, Drake May's a full participant in practice. I was waiting to see, I had been told by people in the organization, hey, we're not expecting this to really be an issue for Drake May on Super Bowl Sunday, but I was waiting to see what would his participation level be in practice. Yesterday, he was a full participant in practice. He told us, and the team told us, that he was a full participant on Monday, but they didn't have to give us an injury report. So that's one. It seems as though that shoulder is trending in the right direction, and he's going to have to make some big time throws, some down the field throws against one-on-one coverage on the outside. So that to me is significant. The other is something that happened yesterday, which is, and I heard you mention it in your headlines, John, Nick Eamon-Wari injuring his ankle and having to leave practice. This guy is a rookie, and he's a second-round pick, and I know he's not yet a big name in the NFL, but he is a truly critical piece to what they want to do on defense, because Seattle lives in nickel defense. They want to have 5 defensive backs on the field, and he allows them to do that even when opposing offenses put a lot of big personnel on the field, because he's a massive safety. He's 6'3", 220 pounds, but he's so athletic. You can use him in the pass game and feel really confident in what he can do in coverage as well. He had pass breakups on Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua in the NFC Championship game. So he is, sort of the key link in the chain that allows them to do everything they want to do. And if he's, even if he's playing in the game, if he's limited, I think that will limit what is, in my opinion, the best defense in football.
There seems to be very little information about, at least from what I've seen, about what happened to him. He was at practice. He was in pass coverage. He rolled his ankle. I don't even know if he rolled his ankle. I don't know what he did. Something to his ankle, because there's only one reporter out. It's a pool reporter. Are you hearing any word on his condition or anything more than I just said?
No, and it is just one pool reporter, and so I wonder if you're following the ball. Like, did Kaylin even see it? Kaylin Kaler, who's the pool reporter for the NFC, or did she just see somebody go down? And did Mike McDonald, the head coach, tell her after the fact what happened to him? And maybe he didn't get all that deep into it in terms of detail. So we'll see. There's a video floating around on social media of him sort of limping into the team's hotel. So today will be big in terms of, okay, is he fully out? Is he practicing, and is he limited?
Did he have a boot on?
Again, no, he didn't.
Okay.
He did
no
not.
crutches, no boot, just limp.
Okay.
Right.
Right.
But again, this is a team that wants to devote a lot of resources to what they have in the secondary, because they really believe in the defensive linemen they have up front. They're really good at stopping the run with just 4, so it allows you to devote 7 guys into coverage, and they sort of dare you to run on them first. That's to me how this game will start. Hey, can you run against us? Because if you can't, we're just going to sit in the same defense all game long. And if the Patriots can run on them, then you get some openings in the secondary to be able to throw the football. But guys that are big and fast and long, like Nick Eamon-Wari, make it really hard to throw the football. He is essentially their Kyle Hamilton. If you guys remember when the Patriots played Kyle Hamilton, he's everywhere on the field. He can do a little bit of everything. Mike McDonald was in Baltimore, obviously, previously, and Nick Eamon-Wari is their version of Kyle Hamilton.
God, that makes me nervous thinking that, they might do that. And, with the Patriots, as I'm sure they know this, you can try and run the ball against a team. And there are times when it looks like Ramondre Stevenson will be getting you nothing today. He's just, running straight into the middle of the line for no gain or maybe just a yard. But all it takes is one of those plays and one opening, and boom, he cuts loose for 50. And if the Patriots think it's there and they're willing to keep trying it, it could be a series or 2 or 3 before they really try and get away from that, because they're waiting for that one play that Stevenson is capable of. And who knows, if you're down a couple of scores at that point, even if it's only 10 points, that makes me nervous.
Yeah, and you might have to, if you're Josh McDaniels, if you're seeing that Seattle is being effective with their run defense without having to devote a lot of people at the line of scrimmage, then you have to start, I think, throwing short and using that as an extension of your run game. And the way that the Seahawks play, they use a lot of too high safeties. And again, they're really good at keeping everything in front of them. And so you might have access to those types of throws where it's just, maybe it's Ramondre Stevenson in the flat. Maybe it's Stephon Diggs on a slant, and you might have to sort of dink and dunk your way down the field if you can't run the ball. And I think the Patriots are capable of doing that. It's just really difficult to do it because you're talking, okay, how long is this going to take us? This is going to be, 12, 13, 14 plays. We're going to have to get all the way down the field against one of the best defenses in football without making a mistake, without taking a sack, without having one of those negative plays that almost automatically blows up a drive and we're punting it back to Sam Darnold. So it's a really sound defense that Seattle has. They are really well coached. I've been able to talk to a couple of offensive coaches this week that have had to prepare for these guys over the course of this season. And it's not like they're incredibly exotic. What they tell me is it's not like we don't know what Mike McDonald is about to throw at us. It's that you can't beat it, number one. And then when he does change it up, which he will do occasionally, and he'll do it a little bit more than, for instance, the Houston Texans did. They really were a we do what we do kind of defense. Seattle changes things up ever so slightly every once in a while, but when they do, they're incredibly effective. Their blitz rate is near the bottom of the league and has been all year. But when they blitz, they're the most effective blitzing team in football. So it makes them an incredible challenge.
Is coaching and playing experience in this game, does that matter at all? Vrabel playing in these Super Bowls, and I think this is Josh McDaniels' 10th one of these. Is that worth any points in this game?
I don't know if it's worth points, but I do think it can help in your preparation. Like, is it enough in the way of help to be able to help the Patriots overcome what I do think is when you look at it roster for roster, a talent deficit? I don't know. But I do think it's helpful because I know these guys are in New England. They're really trying to pace themselves. And that is, based on the suggestion of Mike Vrabel and understanding, okay, when we typically travel to a game, we're used to touching down. And then about 24 hours later, and maybe less sometimes, like the adrenaline's flowing and we're kicking off. And we have to, and we're ready to go. And that's worked for them. Obviously, they're undefeated on the road this year. This week, obviously, very different. And so they have been trying to pace things out so that these guys are feeling like, it's a little bit more routine by the time they get to game day. And I thought there was an interesting note from the pool report from Lindsey Jones of The Ringer, who's the AFC pool reporter. And she talked to Vrabel about how, and Vrabel told us this last week. Last week was really first, second, third down was the game plan that went in for the Patriots. And they were saving some things situationally, red zone, 2-minute for this week. And the reason why Vrabel explained was it was really McDaniels who suggested that to Vrabel, because he's felt, based on his experience this week, is that you don't just want to be going over the things that you went over the week before all week long with guys before a Super Bowl. You do want to give them new information so that it's fresh and maybe they'll retain it a little bit better. So we'll see if that pays dividends at all on Super Bowl Sunday.
All right. Well, Phil is kind enough to get up. He is in San Francisco. We'll continue talking to him in just a moment.
More Toucher and Hardy on the way on the Sports.
Phil Perry is on the line with us. He, of course, covers the Patriots for NBC Sports Boston. He's out in San Francisco for the Super Bowl. Phil, you brought up like what Seattle does defensively. If you were on a Seattle radio station and you were talking to them about attacking the Patriots defense, what would you say?
I think for them, their best bet is to try to run the football, because even though I feel as though there is a little bit of a mismatch on the interior of their offensive line against the Patriots' interior defensive line, Christian Barmore and Milton Williams, specifically against their right guard, excuse me, Anthony Bradford. Anthony Bradford might be, guys, the worst starter on either side of the ball for either team. And Milton Williams is on a tear right now, right? And Christian Barmore's playing really well alongside him. And so I still would try to run the ball, because I wouldn't trust Bradford in pass protection against those guys. And another injury, we've been talking a little bit about injuries here, Drake May, Nicky Minwari, the Robert Spillane one, to me, and I know, Fred, you've joked about this in the past, this is not like a household name and probably should not be a game-changing player, but if they can run the ball, my guess would be it's because Robert Spillane isn't fully healthy, and he missed practice again yesterday, and the run defense has been different when Spillane's been able to be out there. So they should try to run it with Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker is a guy who's been a little bit better this postseason than he was during the regular season. He's one of these running backs who really seems to want to hit the home run all the time. But when he kind of just is willing to grind out the hard yards and the yards that are there for him, so that it's not 2nd and 12, it's 2nd and 7. This offense is a lot better, and he's been really explosive, and he does have that home run hitting athleticism. And so I would say if you're Seattle, the first thing you're trying to do is run the football. And that's due in part, guys, not only to the fact that you have a talented running back in Kenneth Walker, but it's due in part to the fact that I don't think the Seahawks necessarily trust Sam Darnold the way teams with star quarterbacks trust their star quarterbacks. And there are some numbers to back that up. And I would say they did trust him in the NFC Championship game. And so maybe their feelings on him have shifted during the course of the postseason, 2 games in the postseason, I guess. But over the regular season, boy, they were spamming play action, which is sort of something that you use as often as they used it to prop up a starting quarterback. Their pass rate over expected, which is an advanced stat, but it basically tracks, when you are supposed to throw, given the situation, do you actually throw, or would you prefer to hand it off? They're near the bottom of the league in that metric. And so I'm just not sure they trust Darnold the way other teams with high-end quarterbacks trust their high-end quarterbacks. So they should be trying to run the football, especially to start this game.
I guess if they find themselves in a position, though, where they're, behind or in a close game, the whole notion of not trusting Darnold gets thrown out the window, because this is it. I mean, this is the last one. And if it is put upon him to try and make something happen, to try and create plays on his own more so than he did in the regular season, is he still capable of doing that? And that was, again, going back to what you wrote yesterday, like if he can, recapture whatever the best part of his game was at whatever time, does he have that in him?
He has it in him. And he showed in the NFC Championship game. I'm just curious if that was a one-off, or is he about to finish off a Nick Folesian kind of run, or a Joe Flacco-esque kind of run, or even, look at Jalen Hurts. I think based on, what we have now in terms of information on Jalen Hurts, I think it's fair to say he's probably closer to like a league average quarterback than he is truly a great quarterback in the NFL. But he looked like a great quarterback when they won a Super Bowl with him behind center. So, like, is he just about to finish off one of those runs? Or is he going to revert back to the guy he was in the regular season when you put him in, for example, 3rd and long situations on 3rd and 6 or longer? Sam Darnold was 29th in the league this year.
I saw that
in terms of EPA. So, like, there are just certain situations when you force him to do the hard things that quarterbacks have to do, generally speaking, to win Super Bowls, he's not his best. And so, to me, I would be leaning heavy on the run game. And the Seahawks have all year, even when they weren't all that good running the football, they continued to do it, I think, because they knew they didn't want to put the ball in Sam Darnold's hands all that frequently.
Fill in the blank, Phil. If Seattle scores X amount of points, they're going to win a game.
I think if Seattle scores 25, they win the game. I'm not sure the Patriots can match that. This to me is going to be a low scoring game relatively. Like I'm going to pick the Patriots to win. But I'm not sure I see them scoring much more than like 23.
Is that already a bit that you do on NBC Sports? Fill in the blank. That feels like something you guys would have come up with by now.
Feels like something we should be doing. Feels like a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
Could we sell that? Now do we owe you money if we use that now?
No. Take it.
Okay.
John and I are giving it to you. It's fine.
Appreciate that. You guys are great.
20,
but yeah,
25.
I think this is probably like a 20-17 kind of game. I just think both of these defenses are really good, and I think it's really hard to predict how either one of these quarterbacks is going to perform in this game.
You heard it from Phil. Hammer the under.
Well, that's what I was trying to tell.
I mean, Phil's been right. Phil's been right all season.
Mm-hmm.
Phil was more bullish than most. Phil has predicted every playoff game correctly. So you're looking at not a overly exciting affair on the scoreboard. You're saying that we could be tight, but not crazy. Not a lot of fireworks.
I just don't think so. These defenses are too good, and you guys know these Super Bowls sometimes, especially in the first quarter, it just feels like everybody's trying to settle in, and maybe that's my following the Patriots bias, but I forget what the number is now, but Tom Brady Super Bowls, like they score once in the first quarter in, all of those Super Bowls that they played. It was some incredible number. Like there was just never any offense to start these games. And so I feel like it could be that way to start. And then maybe, second half teams start to pick it up a little bit. But I think this is played in the teens, low 20s. And I think, listen, if that's the case, that's a good thing for the Patriots. If the Seattle offense, if Sam Darnold is the guy he was in the NFC Championship game, and if the Seattle offense is humming in that fashion, I just think, as much as I think Drake May is a better quarterback than Sam Darnold, I'm just not sure they're going to be able to keep up, because I do believe in the Seahawks defense. I think they're the best in football.
Go ahead.
What if I were to tell you that the punt total for this game in terms of a prop was sitting at 7.5?
Oh.
You like going over on that, Phil?
7.5
total punts for both teams.
Yeah, I would take the over there. I think you could get a big Bryce Behringer game.
Yeah, okay, good.
But very exciting for the people at home.
On the other hand, as Phil was saying, if it's a short passing game, running short passing, as many as you can get 3 and outs, you can also get those long sustained drives, which kill clock and do not allow for special teams to take the field.
Well, this is the other thing that you have to factor in.
You can kick field goals now from the 50.
And teams go for it on fourth down at a rate of like pretty much twice what they were doing 15 years ago. I mean, it is a huge increase in that. That was another prop I was looking at. Like how many times will they go for it on fourth down? And I'd have to go back and double check, but it was another low enough number to where I thought, just based on what I've seen here in the postseason, and even though it didn't work out for a couple of teams, famously now going for it on fourth down, and whether or not going for it on fourth down would result in a touchdown, that's another prop. I'm like, yeah, that's what teams do now. If you're down there on the 1 instead of taking the 3, everybody seems to be saying, no, we can punch this in. This is no problem. And I think if it is one of these defensive battles, Phil, I think you're going to see a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, I wonder if it's just, it does feel like when those teams have gone for it, when they should have kicked, it feels like that's come back to bite them all playoffs.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Do they learn from that? Do they feel like that trend is going to flip? I don't know. I also look at, like, I'm just checking the weather right now. San Francisco, Sunday afternoon. It's going to be 60 degrees. I bet you're going to get a couple of long field goal attempts here too. So I don't know. Maybe we're talking ourselves out of this punt prop here.
Yeah. It wouldn't rain on your parade. That's all. Don't worry about it. All right. Phil Perry. Excellent job. He likes the Patriots in the Super Bowl. Have fun over there. How can people see you?
You can find us every night, tonight, tomorrow night. We're going to be on Early Edition. We have Quick Slants later tonight. I'll be on there with Tommy Curran, and then our pregame show ahead of the Super Bowl, hour and a half, before the Super Bowl pregame live and then postgame live on NBC Sports Boston. As soon as the game is over, I'll be there. Michael Hawley, Tom Curran, Brian Hoyer, we've got you covered.
Late night for the boys. All right. Thank you so much, Phil Perry. Have a good time at the Super Bowl.
Thank you, guys. Talk to you soon.
Phil.
There you go. It sounds like he won't be inside of the Super Bowl. Sounds like he will be located outside of the Super Bowl.
I think you'd have to be if you're on the second the game is over.
Yeah.
You got to be at a remote location.
I wonder if they'll be doing it from like a hotel room. Watch it all crowded around on the
Everybody's
bed.
sitting on the bed.
At the Ramada, waiting to go live.
Well, that was my big plan, when the Lions just one win away from, going to New Orleans, and I inquired about the media credential, and they said, sure, be in that satellite location next to where the game is being played, watching it in a room on a TV set. And then we'll whisk you over to the post game. I said, no. I don't want a real media credential. I want to go to the game and watch. Never mind.
Well, that's what they did for the Bruins in the Stanley Cup Finals is they had a satellite location underneath the Garden.
Yeah.
Like in the basement where people were watching it on television.
Yeah.
Which is, the Super Bowl you can understand, but wow, seemed like that's an awful lot of media or a very limited amount of space for the media, if that's the case.
Yeah, and I did check on that. What I heard Mallard say the other night, there were 6,000 credentialed reporters there. Yeah, it's like closer to 6,500 people have been credentialed for this game.
Yeah, Ben Mahler is in San Francisco, and every day when I pull into the parking garage, he's just spoken to Blind Mike and
Blind Scott.
He's just
Mike
talking to
Mike the Leprechaun. Please don't confuse.
And then Mike the Leprechaun is invariably on while I'm parking my car. It's almost like
it's scheduled segments.
It's jazz. It's rhythm. It's like it's coming every day. Like he was on this morning. He was referring to something that Blind Scott had done, and then Mike the Leprechaun was on when I was putting my car in, and to that I said, good job, you got to send him out to San Francisco so you can take calls from Mike the Leprechaun. And Blind Scott.
Thank God.
Well,
he's settling in. New environment. Very difficult to do a show in a different room.
Well, it's great that he's on overnights and he gets all these eccentric callers, but it is pretty funny that it's just like, you call Ben Mallory, probably getting on the air. It's just good. It's fun.
By the way, Scott emailed during the Super Bowl bit, and he said, this actually sounds really good, Fred. This was a good idea. This sounds really good. It probably kept people listening longer. The audio quality in the bathroom could be a little better.
Oh.
So, again, he's critiquing in the right way. You start with praise, and then you ask a question. I wonder if the audio quality could have been better from the bathroom.
Yeah, I was thinking about maybe we should link up a handheld, to flush
We actually
the
were
toilet
joking
in the
about that
bathroom.
here in the control room, saying it would have been great if we had Jim Louth's precious, wireless mic, jam that down in the toilet.
Super Bowl.
Jimmy Louth, Super Bowl Jimmy San Fran.
Oh, he's on site, baby.
Jimmy with flowers in her hair.
Saw him a little while ago.
Yeah, he hasn't slept in 2 weeks.
No, he didn't need it.
No, Louth is running on pure.
This is his Super Bowl.
It's all adrenaline.
Well, no, but this is his Super Bowl. Like, it's not just the broadcast; it's everything else. They got a bomb sniffing dog over there.
I saw that guy just walked by. Yeah,
they got a lot of stuff going on. It's funny you see the bomb sniffing dog, and then you go, "Is that ice?" Wouldn't that be something if ice was just going through?
Well, you can never be too careful.
The media.
Got to make
if
sure.
you see a guy in fatigues with like a bulletproof vest on now, your first inclination is going to be it's ice.
Mm-hmm.
The dog, I'm taking it, it's a bomb-sniffing dog. Or maybe it's sniffing out Bad Bunny merchandise so they can stop the insurrection from happening when he gives the word during halftime in that gibbly-gook that he talks.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know what you're saying, but I don't like the sound of it.
Big press conference with Bad Bunny today out there. I'm sure a lot of tough questions going to be fired at him.
Those press conferences are such a waste of time. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
Essential Sport.
21 hours to go. With the Apple headquarters so close to the site of Super Bowl 60, I have a few questions. What am I supposed to do with all these old phone chargers, man? Can I see the cloud where you store all the stuff? Where the heck is Steve Jobs? I haven't heard from him in a while.
guys, outside, I just was reminded of this as the Apple thing. There's a massive Apple Music banner that's probably 20, 25 feet high, and there's just a big picture of Bad Bunny on it, who's going to be in the building here today.
Ooh.
So I'm sure that sent a shiver down his spine.
Capello, he had to be raging at that point.
He's very uncomfortable. He started rambling something about Kid Rock, and I don't know what he was talking.
He says, "Where's the alternative programming? How do I get it? I don't want my kids hearing this gobbledygook." That's right. That's one of the
God
ones
that exists.
There's been someone around here whining all week about how no one's going to be able to understand halftime, but you guys will figure it out. All week. Won't shut the F up about it.
I wonder
What does he care? It's just unbelievable. They have an obligation to me. All right. So how has it been? We didn't get to talk to you yesterday. How is everything out there going?
Everything is going very well. Very busy Radio Row. Maybe the busiest I've ever seen in all the years of coming to the Super Bowl. This has been wild here. Very full room. Very crazy. City's good. I like it here. I'm actually really starting to settle in.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there are obviously it's less than desirable parts, as you know we've talked about a little bit. But for the most part, you get around town, it's a nice place. I can see why they've come back here. There are elements to it that are unique and fun. So
I liked San Francisco when I was there, but I haven't been there for a long time. Like homelessness, even like homeless people like barking at me, like doesn't deter me from like a city. That's not like a huge deal to me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I could see. I would like San Francisco more than if I could stay in San Francisco and I didn't have to go the like 60 miles. I could see that being an all right time.
Yeah, I mean it's got tons of character. So
Right.
it's like a place where it's different than all the other places you've been. So it's good. I
Yeah.
like it. Put it in that group of like places like New Orleans or here or New York or wherever.
What's
Boston.
your trip like back and forth to Radio Row every day?
It's great. It's like a 6-minute walk.
Oh.
So but what happens along the way? It's a mess. But the distance is great. It's nearby.
So there's aggressive homeless, is what you're saying.
Yeah, there's a lot happening. I mean, I mentioned on Monday one guy had threatened to murder me on Monday, and I was like, "Is this going to be the week? Is this what we're going to?"
How is he going to murder you?
I asked him. I said, "Well, I'd like to see how that's going to go down."
What did he say to you? Like unsolicited, I'm guessing.
He just screamed, "I'll effing murder you!" Like he went from dead silence to just screaming it. And I didn't know at first. I'm like, does he not know where he is? Is he talking to me? And then I glanced at him and he goes, "I'll do it. I really will." And I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, I'd like to see how that goes down." And I said, "All right, have a great day." And then he just kept screaming, "I'll murder you." And I was like, "Well, you're going to have to get up first. That's going to be the first step of this. Is you're going to have to get up off the ground."
Well, I thought he
murder
would.
thing.
Yeah, but I wonder if he yelled at anyone else that day.
Just Beetle.
Just Beetle.
Well, here's
Probably
the
didn't
thing,
like the
at
looks
that
of you.
hour, that was early. I was like 5:30 in the morning. There's nobody out on the streets.
Right.
So it's not like there was a crowd of people. It was just the two of us.
All right.
We were going to make it. You and I.
All right.
But there's a lot of that going on here.
Yeah, it's a big homelessness problem. Who do you guys got on today?
Today, let me think. The first hour is pretty open today, so we might actually get back into the discussion of ranking the players in this game. Let me see. I got the list right here. Demario Davis, Rich Gannon, Brian Urlacher, Malcolm Butler is coming in today. Kelly in Vegas. We'll talk some gambling elements with her. Patrick Willis, Doug Flutie. Going to ask about that big pass he threw that time. And Kurt Warner, but it's Thursday, and Thursday and Friday here, as you know, gets out of control. And I can't tell you who's going to stop by.
Yeah.
Plenty of people out there.
A lot of people going by on Thursday.
Yes.
And you'll finally get the answer out of Malcolm Butler. Third time's the charm.
This is the year.
Well, I'm
Third
gonna ask
visit
him
to Radio Row.
where's the book, dude?
Yeah.
He's telling us he was going to write his book about tell us why it happened.
That was visit 1.
this is now 3.
Yeah. This is
So
the third time.
now he's got to answer for where is his book, and also why did you not play in the Super Bowl that time?
Yeah.
That one time.
Well, the answer is going to be in the book, so.
Right, and I wonder if that book should just be printed once and then disintegrate, so the person who read it could just go, "Here's why I didn't play."
It'll be like that Wu-Tang album.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
That's exactly what I was thinking when I said it. Is I wonder if some evil pharmacy guy can buy it.
Yeah, the pharmaceutical guy can buy it for $1 billion, and then no one else will ever know.
And then everyone in the group resents RZA for the rest of their lives. All right, Mark Bertrand, have fun today. That'll do it for us. Everyone have a great day. Bye.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.